Giddy up, you beautiful bastards, and welcome to episode 7 of It's All Geek to Me, the pop culture chat show where three friends with varying degrees of nerd knowledge get together each week to have a chat about all things geek. And joining me are my brothers in geek. Please give it up for Mr. Chris Lum. Hey, Lummy, how you doing, mate? You all right?
I'm all right. How are you?
All good. Thank you very, very much. How's your week been?
Oh, you know, ins and outs, ups and downs.
Oh, hello. Yeah, I mean, we are kind of, what is it now? It's lockdown 3. It's week 7 of doing It's All
the worst of all sequels, number 3.
Yeah, that's very, very true. Has there ever been a good third sequel? Like
Back to Future 3. Come on.
Back to the Future 3 is very, very good. Nathan prefers Back to the Future 3 to 2, which does surprise me. But
I'm glad he's not here tonight, then, eh?
It's a good job, Nathan. Oh, here he is, because it's Mr. Nathan Webb. Here he is.
Here he is.
Oh, you bloody dickheads. I heard you talking smack about me.
Yeah, smack about Back to the Future 3.
Let me just clear this up. I love Back to the Future 2. I think it's great, but I don't know what it is. I think it is the ending of Back to the Future 2, for me, I remember it. I remember waiting for the third movie. I remember figuring, when you find out that it's back in 1895 and that, for me, I just think it's great. I think the cowboy twist on it's excellent. So sue me. Sorry, guys.
That's right, don't it? So but that's the whole point of the show, is that we come at our different topics from different angles with different opinions, and that's what makes it a beautiful world. On this week's show, we have the usual geek news, we have the usual segments, and then at 9 o'clock we are going to be doing our Goonies retrospective review. Well, not really a review, but just kind of a look back and have a chat about anything we've what are you saying?
Sorry, just taking me back. The Goonies takes me right back to being a kid.
Well, we'll get to that at 9 o'clock. It's pretty much everybody's favourite film. But first up, we've got the geek news. So, what's new in the world of geek this week, gentlemen? What has prickled your geek senses?
Well.
Go on. I know Nathan's quite excited. Come on, Nathan.
Let's wait for that one. Let's get the disappointing stuff out of the way first, because it is news. But it ain't exactly great news. More setbacks, more delays, more bloody coronavirus, stopping all your favourite stuff coming out, or stopping you going to the cinema and watching it. So I'll start with this week. We've just learned that they're putting back the release of Ghostbusters Afterlife, which we talked about last week a little bit. We got all hyped up because it seemed like the release date was set in stone for the 11th of June, and there was all the news about Ivan Reitman going to watch the screening and being really happy that his son had made a great sequel and tearing up and stuff. So we got all giddy, and then obviously somebody's watching this show and just hitting the red button every time we decide we want to watch something. So that's been moved back to October?
Yeah, it's the autumn, definitely.
November, isn't it? I think, yeah, November.
Bloody hell, man! I mean, come on.
I know, and they've started leaking stuff online. There was an image. We haven't got it. There was an image of a new ghost that's in the movie.
I ain't afraid of new ghosts.
It looks a little bit like Slime, and we won't spoil it though by having an image.
Well, yeah, that sucks. This is the thing now. You have to question whether you. Personally, I think I really do want to see this in the cinema if I'm allowed, but I would happily settle for a stream on Disney Plus.
I would now, because it's getting to the point where you think, I just want to see the bloody thing. But
I just want to see what they've done, and they've had.
I'll even give you you can have the money and just put it in your cinema fund. Put it in the fund. I'll pay 20 quid to watch Ghostbusters Afterlife.
I'll make my own popcorn anyway. I'll make my own popcorn at home, and then I'll overcharge myself loads to eat.
I've got 30 quid's worth of cinema vouchers from last Christmas that I haven't used yet.
I promise I will sit and watch that film in my living room and pretend to be other people in my living room talking over the film, and be really rusty. I'll open my sweets at all the wrong times and things like that.
I'm not that
going. Anyway, I don't really like going to the cinema much for those very reasons. I'd much rather
It's not
sit
as
and
much
watch
fun
it at home.
shushing yourself, though, is it?
But I've got a projector, so watching a film kind of at home is.
You're more of a
better experience
theatre.
for
You're
me.
more of a theatre goer, Rich, aren't you? Anyway, let's be honest.
Yeah, I am, but I do love watching a film. Is there some subtext in that? I don't know. There seems something that was about
sounded like there was a barbed insult behind it.
No, there wasn't.
I didn't think it until Nathan went.
Yeah, but then I laughed. I thought, is he thinking something else?
Yeah, you
Of course, I enjoyed those. Yeah, Tracer.
Maybe,
No, I
do you want me to say it more like this? We all know you enjoy the theatre, Richard.
I heard he likes the backstage. I don't even know what I mean.
Yeah. You do, yes. No, it's. I'm just not a fan of other people. So I'd much rather sit and watch a film at home with my own company and or whoever I want to sit and watch that film with. It's much nicer.
Whether they want to be there or not. You're watching this movie.
I mean, it wasn't just Ghostbusters, was it either? We've got. I might as well let's keep going. Old Bond. He's not back again, is he?
Third time this film's been put back now.
Yeah, he don't look happy about it, does he?
He doesn't.
It's like spring it out.
It looks like.
What was the last Bond film?
Spectre.
Spectre, wasn't it? Yeah.
And also, there's one more, a sneaky one I've put in that's got delayed that I know you guys are waiting for.
Oh, what?
I know.
So is it coming out in spring 2020 or is it?
No, it's put back till November with Bond and Ghostbusters. They're after that Bond and Ghostbusters money. Peter Rabbit too.
People, if you go to see a movie that's been put back for 2 years and you get there, sit down, get your popcorn, watch the movie, cinemas are finally open and the movie's crap. They've had all this time to refine it, to test screen it, to work on it, get little bits in it. I don't know. Peter Rabbit too. Black Widow, Black Widow.
Yes, that's true. Yeah.
Hey, Martin, you're right.
Hi, Martin. Yeah, it's strange times.
I mean, when is Black Widow supposed to be out now? Because it seems to have just fallen.
I love the fact that banner goes right across my face. Thanks for that.
There's a reason for that.
Yeah, I know. I'm scruffy.
I'm just having a look now for the Black Widow release date.
I'll tell you what, I'll put Ghostbusters back up a sec because it looks good.
Oh, it looks good. That.
Look at that.
I've just got so many questions.
Amazing,
what are they doing in a field? What's going on? The sky's green.
Driving in a field. We don't know.
Can't take it.
Nobody knows.
So yeah, just setback after setback at the minute. And I understand. I mean, in a way, the movie companies, they could just decide to stream everything. They're probably still going to make some money when it comes to it. But certain directors really want you to see their movies on the big screen. That's what it was designed for. You know what I mean? And
some of them are selling them out there, but they've just like Paramount Pictures have just said they're not going to stream Top Gun either. They said we're hanging on to that one. You're like, really?
May 2021.
I'm all right with that. I can happily live. Yeah, I can live without seeing the Top Gun sequel. I'm not bothered.
Black Widow's coming out May 2021. This whole thing about directors getting all pissy about how they feel you should watch their movie, they should just get the fuck over themselves. They're putting something out there for people to watch. They have, as soon as that film has been released, they have no fucking say in how I choose to watch it. You know, if I want to watch it on my phone, if I want to watch it on my projector, if I want to watch it on my...
If you download a Christopher Nolan film and try to watch it on your iPhone, a fist comes straight out of the screen, punches in the fucking face, and it goes like that. Not today, dickhead.
It's just like how precious or how shit is your film that you feel that it can only be watched in a certain medium for it to make sense or to do it justice.
I mean, when one has created a cinematic film, one must show it on the biggest screen possible, I find.
Yeah.
Fine. Fine. Don't watch it on a big screen then. Let me watch it on my telly. You know what I mean?
You know me, I'm a fan of sitting on my butt at home watching stuff on telly. It's my ideal way to watch stuff. But certain films for me, I have to say I have really enjoyed seeing them on the big screen. They seem to stick with me more, you know.
Yeah.
But not all of them. But Peter Rabbit 2, come on, that's an IMAX job.
I mean,
I want an IMAX screen.
IMAX,
each
definitely.
eye.
Look at that.
I want it on two IMAX screens, one for my right eye, one for my left.
Who doesn't want James Corden on the biggest screen possible? Is lovely.
Well, you need. Oh no, it's body shaming. I can't do that. That's mean. That's mean. Yeah, so we're gonna have to wait longer. I mean, it's a good job. Actually, we were saying the other week about the Disney Channel releasing all of this Marvel content and all of these Star Wars series and things like that.
Does that mean that Black Widow's coming out on Disney Plus? Are they going to stream it, or are they going to just?
That's a good shout. That'd be.
You know, they only seem to stream stuff they're not that arsed about. Do you know?
No,
what I mean?
cinema debut and a Disney Plus premiere.
Okay.
Or hybrid release. It's. I think, to be honest, they're just kind of doggy paddling at the minute to try and work out what the best thing to do and how to maximize that profit.
Yeah.
Ultimately.
I mean, if we can just go back to Peter Rabbit 2 for 1 second.
Shut up about Peter Rabbit 2.
But you do realise, I mean, it's going to be a big in this because it says the garden was just the beginning at the top there. I mean, you know, it's going to be an epic adventure, that one. So my money's on that. It's going to be bigger than Ghostbusters, bigger than Bond.
Well,
do you know what? That's why they keep putting it back, because they're waiting for Peter Rabbit to come out, because they're just like, we can't come out at the same time as Peter Rabbit. It'll smash us in the box office. Yeah, exactly.
Smash them right in the box office.
Oh man, that's painful. I hate getting smashed in the box office.
You stick it right down his burrow.
Yeah, and then you can give him a carrot.
Yeah.
Where we going with it?
Oh.
I don't know. Anyway, have we got any more Peter Rabbit news?
I don't get this game. I don't understand this game. No more Peter Rabbit news. Right, show over. No. So Nathan, you had some good news.
Oh, we ain't got time for this bit. We ain't got time for his other news.
Come on, Nathan. You tell us. You tell us what the doctor said. You tell us the good news,
guys. This is a deal breaker. If you don't accept my love for the Muppets, I'm out of here, man. It'll be a 2-man show, and I don't give a shit. I won't look back. I'll start my own Muppet stream. I'll just do Muppet news.
Muppet cast.
Anyway, this is quite. It's not amazing news because the show's like 30 odd years old now. But the original Muppet Show ran for 5 seasons from about 1977 to early 80s, and it's never been available to buy. They started in the early 2000s. They released them all. They released the first 3 seasons on DVD as box sets. And for some strange reason, they never got around to releasing season 4 and 5. And Disney have just announced on the February the 19th, they're going to be streaming all the original Muppet Show, including 4 and 5, including seasons 4 and 5. So you'll be able to watch them legally for a change. But yeah, it's a good one because season 5 and 4, they're actually pretty good. Like, if you look at the list of people that's on it, there are a lot of people that I've never heard of, but some of the biggest names on there. So season 4, you got John Denver, who was a massive friend in the Muppets. They released an album together. I don't know if you know that. A Christmas album as well, I think. Anyway, John Denver was always hanging around them Muppets, sniffing around, trying to, I don't know.
Sniffing around the phone.
Yeah, sniffing around them, sniffing around Miss Piggy. Like, yeah, anyway. So, but also you got Dudley Moore in that series. You got Kenny Rogers, Dizzy Gillespie, weirdly enough, the trumpet player. The cast of Star Wars, which is a really famous episode with Mark Hamill and Chewbacca and the droids. And that's quite a funny one. You got Linda Carter, aka Wonder Woman from the original 70s, Alan Arkin, Diana Ross, and Andy Williams. There's just a few names from season 4. Season 5 is Gene Kelly, Joan Baez, Shirley Bassey, Brooke Shields, Debbie Harry, Paul Simon, Marty Feldman, Johnny Cash, Roger Moore, and weirdly enough, you'll know this name, Rich, because I don't know if you remember a period in history where he wasn't very popular, but a bloke called Chris Langham.
Yeah,
an actor, yeah. His career started in London. Yeah. He was a writer for the Muppets.
Was he really?
In season 4. This is before any of the scandal that
it was research. He was
weirdly drafted in as an emergency guest for season 5. So he was a writer, but I think the story is they just didn't have a guest that week. The guest fell through, and he's in one of the shows as
That's
the
really
main.
wow.
Strange, eh?
Yeah, that is a really weird.
Is that is that episode going to be on then?
Yeah, I think so.
Interesting.
The thing is, he's still working as an actor.
Hmm.
Because he was in the thick of it stuff, wasn't he? Was it the thick of it or the?
No, it was after the thick of it that the scandal came out.
Okay. So he has worked since then because he was in another thing. There's a guy called, if you ever watched a show called Flowers on Channel 4, it was written by a guy called Will Sharp. And Will Sharp wrote a movie, and he is in the movie. He's like one of the main characters in the movie. So he is still acting. I don't know what's happened with the scandal, but yeah, I'm not even going to go into the scandal because I don't know my facts. But yeah.
The reason why they withheld a lot of series and things is because of music rights. That's why certain songs and things in series. That's why they have trouble releasing stuff. Happens all the time with things. So I think that's why they weren't able to clear everything. So
are you sure? Is it just not because Kermit was just being a precious prick about things and just
Kermit.
Being a diva.
Who's your favourite Muppet, Webb?
My favourite Muppet? Bloody hell, that's asking me.
Oh, dude, you can't ask him a question like that.
I know.
I do have a favourite Muppet.
It takes him a week to come up with his best and worst. You can't put him on the
little nephew Robin.
Oh,
which is where my son. One of the reasons my son's called Robin. I just like
one of your sons. That's why one of my sons is called Robin.
Yeah, the other son.
The other one's called
Mr. Dr. T.
Snuffleupagus.
Snuffleupagus, yeah.
So when are these Muppet series coming out? And are they coming out all in one go, or are they going to release them episode?
I think they're going to drop them all on the 19th of February on Disney Plus. So if you fancy some old Muppet fun and you want to go back through the annals, if you want to go back to a time when the Muppets had normal voices, that's your best bet, really. I know.
Do you know what? It's going to upset you, but I know I'm pretty sure they were probably ripped off from the Muppets, but I like the Fraggles better.
Not wrong with that. The same.
I loved Fraggle Rock.
That was Jim Henson, man. It's in the same family.
I just the show Fraggle Rock. It was more my thing.
What was it called? Uncle Traveling Matt. Dear nephew Gobo. Here we go.
Yeah. It was great. It's a great show. And the doozers.
Yeah.
We have somewhere in this house, and I'll find it for next week.
A doozer.
We have a couple of
bones of Jim Henson.
We have the bones of Jim Henson. No, we've got a couple of Muppets. I'll bring them down for next week.
Somewhere as well.
I'm talking to a couple of Muppets.
I'm quite excited about being able to.
I was waiting for somebody to try and drop that joke in.
Yeah.
I'm quite excited about just being able to stream the Muppets from the start and slowly watch them over time. When you watch it, you'll realise it ain't great. It is what it is, but it's such fun and there's such love in it, and they really work their asses off to make you believe that the things were real, you know.
I heard a rumour that on first series they were all stoned, all the Muppets. And that's why their eyes. Yeah, that's why the eyes look a bit weird on them, on some Muppets.
Yeah, I heard that the performers and the Muppets, they had really big falling outs about that. Because the performers were really dead against it, and the Muppets were like, "No, just give us the weed, man."
It's all right.
Yeah. This is 1977. Dickhead.
I mean, it's a fire hazard straight away, isn't it? Really?
Well, it is in a theatre.
Yeah.
But you could smoke in a theatre. I don't know if you could smoke weed in a theatre in the 70s, but there you go. When the Muppets were good. I mean, you've got to remember there are some classic moments, but you've really got to get your bad dad joke head on when you're watching it, because there's some terrible jokes in it, but they're wonderful in the same way. So yeah, that's quite cool.
Do you know what? I'm really happy for you, Nathan. I mean, that's quite a nice bit of news to come out of lockdown.
Do you know,
not much else to do. That's great.
You watch, it'll come out the day after. I'll have to go back to work.
What'll happen? They'll delay it, even though it could be easily before. Let's go. We're not bringing it out till 2023. And be like, what? Why? It's like, because we can enjoy.
Because of Peter Rabbit 2.
I think this is going to be an ongoing thing now tonight, Peter. 10 years again.
Yeah.
Oh God, he looks like a prick, doesn't he?
I really want somebody to just come on now while we're talking about Peter Rabbit 2, going, what the fuck is this?
I feel like I'm being quite aggressive about certain things, but quite opinionated and aggressive about things tonight, about directors deciding how I watch their film and Peter
I'm
Rabbit.
setting myself up for lampooning here, and that's all well and good. But I've got to say,
Yeah, can we?
I've got a
Can me and Dave-
3-year-old, and he swears by Peter Rabbit. So maybe that's what you're doing wrong. Watch a bit more Peter Rabbit. He's so carefree.
Swear while we watch it.
Give a shit about anything.
Maybe we could all be a bit more Peter Rabbit. Is that what you're saying?
No. You could all
Be
be
more Robin.
Yeah,
Be more Robin.
Yeah. You know what? That's that next week's movie, Peter Rabbit. We're gonna all watch it.
It's fucking not. Okay, so now we got episode 3 next week, haven't we?
Yeah.
No, we haven't. We have. Yeah, it is. It's
we like a steady stream of viewers. We don't want to like crash the internet by watching Peter Rabbit and talking about it. You know.
Anyway, let's not spoil Peter Rabbit for any 3-year-olds that are watching the show tonight.
No, and another thing that we're not going to spoil is WandaVision, but we are going to have a brief chat about WandaVision because episode 3 came out last night. Now, we were talking about this last week, and I hadn't seen episode 2 at that point, and neither had Nathan. You're absolutely right, Lummy. Episode 2, I really wish, actually, that had been like a 54-minute episode instead of 2 different episodes in a way, just because because the first one was quite off-putting, but actually I felt like a right dick after watching the second one because it was brilliant. And then episode 3 last week,
I wouldn't say that you were a dick about it. I would say that you were cautious about it. Do you know what I mean? You're thinking, well, and I think that's what is going to do the heading of your average person in putting much thought into why they're watching Marvel stuff. They're just watching it.
Yeah.
Like they're doing. They've got a plan. You've got to go with them, or you don't. Like you decide after that. But for anybody watching that's in the same position as Gittins last week, and you've only seen episode 1, and you're thinking, why should I? Just go with it. Just give it a chance, because I think it is not only. I think we're all going to be kicking ourselves about, you know what I mean, any doubts about it by the end of the run. I think it's got potential to be actually quite well done.
And I really liked Bewitched when I was a kid, and I really liked Leave It to Beaver, and that's kind of the shows that they were parodying. The shows that they were parodying. Oh dear,
Beaver.
Yeah. In the morning. Chris is just sat there like the adult amongst us. I like it, and I like.
I've heard all Beaver jokes before. You know,
all of them.
All of them. I don't react to them anymore. Just like
because of all them fucking joke books you get given, isn't it?
Wow.
About beavers.
1001 jokes about beavers.
Yeah. If anybody out there has got a beaver joke that they don't think Lummy's heard, send it in. Send a comment in. Let's see if we can get a live reaction. Maybe we'll blow his
live
mind.
Reaction joke.
Or if anyone's got a picture of a beaver, I'm sure Lummy would like to see
nice
it.
Beaver pictures. Yeah.
So what did you think of episode 3, Lummy?
I stand by what I said the previous week. I thought it was great.
Episode 2 was good.
I just think just wait and see. Stop wanting everything like I need it. I need all 10 episodes at once. It's like calm the fuck down, everybody.
And that is what I meant when I said I felt like a bit of a dick. Actually, was because I had that attitude.
But at least you didn't go on the forums and Twitter and start putting your opinion. That's the difference. You didn't go on and go,
jump the gun, and now those people look like silly pricks.
Yeah. I mean, this is what I didn't understand with all these idiots. It's like, why did you think it was going to be a 50s sitcom set in a Marvel universe? Why did they think that? It's obvious there's going to be.
I feel like we're being drip-fed new information about a character we're not that familiar with. If you've read the comics, you know what's kind of going to happen because Scarlet Witch is Scarlet Witch. She's one of the most powerful X-Men ever. Her powers rival Jean Grey, Professor X, all the big top mutants. She's one of the top dogs. She has the ability to remake reality however she sees fit. And she does this in a really famous comic book called The House of M, where she remakes reality to her specifications, and it has such a profound effect that superheroes out there in the world, they can't remember who they are and what they're doing. Honestly, it's just pretty.
And it's interesting because so many different people have written for the character as well, that actually she's got several different origin stories, and it seems like they are they're not being specific to a narrative. They're picking from different strands of exactly, and that's quite good. I'm enjoying it. It's good.
Spoiler-free things that I can tell you is, for me, Paul Bettany is absolutely wonderful in this episode 2 in particular. Absolutely. Great. There's not much else I can say. I do want to spoil it for you guys, but I'm not gonna do it. And we don't know much. This is the thing. We're being drip fed little bits here and there, but episode 3 is a bit of a biggie because you start to find out a little bit more about what's going on. But again, it's not. It reminds me of Lost, when Lost was good.
Yeah.
When Lost was good and everybody was losing the shit for it every week, and you got drip fed those little bits. The videos from the 70s of the Dharma Initiative setting up the experiments on the island and all that. It's got that feel for me in a totally good way, because, the end of Lost notwithstanding, that's a different kettle of fish. But, it's just got something about it, I feel.
That might be a good show to not actually go through episode by episode, but just to have a retrospective look at. Yeah. Did you watch Lost, Lummy, when it was?
I did. Do you know what? I didn't. I think I watched a couple of episodes, but I didn't bother. It just one that missed me. That I went by.
That's probably not something we should talk about then. Otherwise, it's going to be Nathan telling Lummy about something
if you want.
Ended up being really disappointing.
I think it plays into that, some of your mates are watching something and you can't stop talking about it. I'm quite glad we were hanging out as much at that point, because I wouldn't have had aught to say to you. Because it was all about Lost every week. Oh, next week. Oh, next season.
Did you ever see that Heroes show? Did you ever watch that?
Yeah, I loved Heroes. That was a show that suffered massively by the writer's strike, wasn't it?
Again, Lost did as well, if you remember.
Yeah.
3 have Lost. They're like 20 odd episodes. They only did 14 or 15.
How did Lost end then? Did they just say at the end, because the writer's strike, they found them?
No, they did exactly what they said they weren't. I mean,
it's
we need to say spoilers, but basically they did exactly what they said they weren't going to do, which is basically all the way through they went, "This is not purgatory," and then at the end they went, "Purgatory," and it was
kind of purgatory-ish. Yeah. The most annoying thing about it, Lummy, is all those questions that he asked you every week. That's why Lost works so well. It left you, every episode left you going, "Oh my God, what's going on? Oh, the potential for that is this." Every week, every single week, right up until the second to last episode, they were still throwing things at you that made you go, "What?" And then that last episode, they just decided to do a huge poo all over you.
And not answer 60% of the questions that they've been.
Are you talking about Lost or episode 9?
It's a similar.
Wow, you motherfucker! You really didn't like it, did you?
The worst thing about Lost, though, Lummy, was the people who wrote it were saying, "Oh no, you're wrong. You're not going to guess this. We're so smart. We were so much smarter than you. You're so off the mark."
Yeah, that's absolutely right.
And they get back in the writers' room and have a little panic, going, "Shit, what are we going to do this week?"
They've all fucking guessed. It's like, what they did, which was brilliant when Lost came out, was they had all these websites going on that were to do with the mysteries surrounding the show. So there was an airline, the airline that crashed. They actually created a website for this airline where you could, where there was booking information, all these different things, and basically it was like. You were solving riddles and clues and progressing further, kind of trying to find out what was going on. And everything led to a dead end eventually, pretty much like the show. But it was brilliant at its peak because it was really nurturing loads of interest and really sort of pricking your curiosity.
Got a new follower here. Look, Blue Canary.
Hey, look, Blue Canary. How you doing, Blue Canary 210? How's it going?
I know Blue Canary.
Watches over you. Is that Blue Canary? Is that a They Might Be Giants reference there? I'm interested.
I don't know. I can tell you Blue Canary is. I did a voiceover for Blue Canary the other day, and I said, "Follow us on Twitch to watch the show." There you go.
Oh, thank you, Blue Canary.
And it was the start. It was a
see
Star
what
Wars one. That's why it says hello there. There we go. Look.
Obi-Wan reference.
There you go.
Nice. Thank you
Okay, I
very
wanted
much.
to ask something about this. It's totally not connected to what we were just talking about, but I heard something about that hello there. So there's this argument within the Star Wars world about whether Obi-Wan remembers. You know when he says, "I never owned a," what does he say? "I never owned a droid." In A
Don't
New
seem
Hope.
to remember ever owning a droid. That's
Yeah,
what he says.
why does he say that, Lummy? Because
He's been a dick.
Is he? Is he?
Yeah.
I mean, it could be because they filmed A New Hope 30 years before they made up a backstory. But yeah, I always wondered about that.
But you can imagine him in sat around the table on the first script through and going, why am I saying this? What's the reason behind this? And the writer's like, because you're a dick.
He's talking about. He's talking about. Hang on a minute. We've started a conversation here about this now. Hang on. Yeah, beating around the bush. Yeah. It's no, he's talking about R2, isn't he? Is it?
Yeah, but the thing is, right?
It's R2, yeah.
I reckon if you show the subtitles of what R2 is saying, after Obi-Wan says that, after he says, "I don't seem to remember owning a droid," R2's like, "What, you prick?"
Yeah.
I'm right here. I'm right here in the room.
I don't remember you either, you old prick.
Saved your life like 5 times, you prick. Nothing without me.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Don't seem to remember ever owning a droid. Yeah. You do, yeah. I mean, is there any...
Is prick.
Remember owning a droid.
is that what's it called? Inspector Clouseau?
Yeah, that's what it sounded a bit Clouseau-ish towards the end.
Oh.
I mean,
don't you remember ever owning a droid, monsieur?
No, Clouseau.
Oh, Clouseau. Oh.
The
monkey? Who's this the monkey? Is this your monkey? Go on, Web. Give us an Obi-Wan.
Obi-Wan?
That was very good.
It's a bim. Is that Obi-Wan? I'm confused now myself.
Yeah. Obi-Wan Clouseau.
Oh, they'd be worth a rewatch, some of those Pink Panther movies.
Yeah, they were excellent.
Kato, and I love those fights.
Do you mean the Steve Martin one?
Never saw it, actually. I watched both of them, and they're all right. I can imagine it's all right, but it's an unnecessary movie, isn't it? Do you know what I mean? They went through that phase of making things that didn't need remaking. Pink Panther was one of them. I can't remember any others. But around that same period of time, there were like things you were like, what? Why are you remaking this? You make something good. But no, not good. You can't out Peter Sellers, can you? Really? He's already. You can't
out Peter. You
can't Peter out. You can't Peter Rabbit.
Speaking of making something good, before we get on to a Peter Rabbit horror again.
Speaking of Peter Rabbit. Do you know what, guys? The garden was just the beginning.
Oh, mate, do you know what?
What's next?
That poster is working on me. I totally want to see this film. I have no interest in the beginning.
I think
the more
I reckon we're going to get a massive sack of money off the marketing department for this movie because the admissions will go up so much because we've plugged it.
Yeah.
All of the things that we've wanted free on this show, and the one thing that we get will be Peter fucking Rabbit merchandise. I don't want Peter Rabbit merch.
Email from James Corden saying, "Thanks for bigging us up, guys. If any of you want a selfie," and we're like, "Nah, you're all right." One second. So the Peter Rabbit's rabbit siblings, the girls, Cottontail, Flopsy, and Mopsy, or whatever the fuck they're called. In the first movie, one of them is voiced by Daisy Ridley, who is Rey in Star Wars. But in the second one, she's being replaced by somebody. And I just thought, what has she done?
Wow.
Should we make some shit up about what she did? I think she called James Corden out.
Maybe she refused the role.
Maybe she's like, I'm too big for this. In fact, I'm great with sequels, guys. I'm out.
Yeah. Nathan, last week we took a look at your Sesame Street Lego kit, and I know we got a message this week saying that Nathan had bought himself a little Star Wars Lego treat.
It was a little lockdown, bummed out, run out of Lego, fed up treat that went on my credit card.
So go on, Nate. Tell the viewers what you bought yourself.
It was one I've been wanting for ages. They released it last year. It's an AT-AT. I got myself a Lego AT-AT.
That's awesome. Look at that. I haven't seen these photos yet. It looks really good against your kitchen.
Thanks,
does,
man.
doesn't it? It looks like it was meant to be there on that table, doesn't it? Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. To be honest, it made a right mess on there. I had to clean up a little AT-AT.
Nice.
So anyway, with it you get these little bits. So that's an e-web blaster, which you can't really see in great detail, but it was just a lovely little. They nailed the design of it with like 4 pieces of Lego. It looks just like, you know, so the bit in the Mandalorian where they bring that gun out at the end of season 1
and over explain what it is. That I thought it was really weird. Because this is an e-web blaster, and you're like, all right.
Yeah.
It's made from this kind of steel, and it could take down any of your. You're like, all right, mate. Fucking love this gun, doesn't it?
Ginormous gun. So yeah, that came with it, and then you get what's my next one? You get a little.
Oh, hang on, we got a question here. Wait a minute, Pop Not.
Hey, Pop Not Broth. Welcome back. How's it going?
Oh, it's ironic.
80-80.
But actually,
what did you call it? An AT-AT? I used to call it an AT-AT as well, but I think that's before they started canonizing everything. You see, we're old school. We'll call it.
Hang on, isn't AT&T a bank in America?
Yeah, AT&T.
AT&T. Well, it's AT&T, isn't it?
AT AT-AT, AT-AT if you want. You can have AT-AT. You can have AT-AT.
AT-AT.
Yeah. But yeah, and we used to call it an AT-AT, but we were simple folk from Beeston, so you know.
What was it that Lummy was mispronouncing the other week?
Sega.
Yeah. Oh yes, Sega. Yeah, that was it. Even though
I call it Sega.
No, you called it Sega. Yeah.
Just gonna have a sip of my goofy.
I never got told when I was a kid, though. That's, you know, when I was a kid, I used to call it Sega, and nobody told me. Nobody told me.
Well, yeah, that's the thing. George Lucas never popped round and said, "By the way, kids, you're pronouncing all your toys wrong." It's job of the hot.
South Leeds massive Pop Not Broth.
There you go, Beeston.
Pop Not Broth from experience. You're probably one of the best people in Beeston, love.
Yeah.
Sorry, just offended the whole of Beeston. I didn't mean to, but they are quite hard, so I am going to apologise for that. Cookies in Beeston.
We're getting a lot of comments here. We got
It's an
we don't piss about in his AT-AT.
So yeah, I got myself an AT-AT, and so it's not motorized because I actually watched a review. I don't usually do this, but I watched a review of it, and the guy said the motorized one they brought out. Well, no, great. He says, yeah, it does walk. It is pretty cool that it walks, but you can't put anything in it. Don't have any room for figures. This one, the back flaps down. It's got a flap at the back. It's got back flaps.
You sent me when you were sending these photos through. I thought there's quite a lot of it's bumhole.
You open its bumhole and it poops out. It shits out a fresh speeder bike.
Brilliant.
It's amazing.
He's facing the wrong way. Hang on.
Well, he has to face the wrong way to get in. You have to reverse him out. You have to pull him out slowly.
Is that in canon how they get in and out?
That's the little speeder bike that comes with it. But I built a lot of Lego, man. And one thing I really like about this is it don't have any fucking stickers in it.
The Lego eyeball you've got is amazing.
Look at that.
Yeah, your composition of that photo, it's kind of eye-catching towards the ball at the back there, man.
Yeah.
I mean, to be fair, Joe loves that ball. She did say, "Can you show me ball?" I'll just put my ball on the internet. I'd really love people to have a look at ball.
If people were after a ball like that, where would they get that from? Where would you get a nice ball like that from?
Joe's mum.
Oh.
I believe it's from Joe's mum. So if you want one of them, go see Joe's mum. She'll sort you out with a nice big ball.
Yeah.
Oh, we've got somebody who wants the ball. Yeah, Pop Not Broth wants one.
Oh, well, go see Joe's mum, Pop Not Broth.
Joe's mum. Yeah, I won't tell you her name. You figure that out. You'll figure that out.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah. So Attack Glory. I mean, it was one of the best builds I've ever made. Every
many pieces?
Like, wow. I think about 1,300-ish.
Okay, and how long did it take you to build?
Well, I've been doing nothing this week. I had a week off from work, so Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, I was at home all day. So I dossed about a bit on the PlayStation, and built some Lego in the background. Unfortunately, when you get nimble Lego fingers, Lummy, can you get rid of the picture so I can show everybody my fingers? Look at these. Can you see them?
Yeah, well, I mean, they're a bit blurry because you keep moving
you're
them
waving
around.
them about like folks.
It just happens overnight. One day you can't build Lego at all, and all of a sudden, every time you do it, it just works.
You got ninja digits.
Yeah, my nimble Lego fingers have helped me put it together way quicker than I'd like to do.
Oh, so you did it faster than normal. All right.
The other thing is it's got 4 legs and each leg is identical, so you're making the same thing 4 times in a row. Do you know what I mean? So it's actually it's just easier to do than a normal one. But I love it. I absolutely love it. I can't stop looking at it. I've got it on my windowsill at the minute.
You're not sleeping with it, are you, Ray?
I love it.
You're not sleeping with it. You're not sleeping with it, are you, Ray?
No.
Ghostbusters 2. Come on, guys. Pick up Ghostbusters 2. Come on.
Right? It's a toaster.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right, we were talking about how to pronounce ATA, AT&T, or AT80.
Yeah, they do. I've got some more pictures where you can see it opens up. It's got enough room to stick 3 men in the front, so you can have the ATAT driver and 2 of the what are they called? Not TIE fighter, but like TIE fighter pilots, but the ATAT version, the ATAT driver guys. Anyway, so you can get a few people in the front. You can get about 6 people in the sides. It's awesome, man. If you've got the means, go grab one.
Is that General Via's?
Yeah, it is actually. He's even got a little binoculars. You can hold his binoculars
cool.
for goodies, and he can say,
his face is like.
Goodies. Oh yeah,
has he got a smile on his face, or is that
it's a antenna microphone. He actually looks quite grumpy. I didn't get a good shot of that. I didn't want to upset anyone who was grumpy. And this is my attempt at a Hoth recreation. If you notice, I've got my snow speeder there. That's a good one. That if you just want a little bit of Lego, that's a nice little ship. About 30 quid or something. That
bowl looks outstanding, though.
Oh no, there's a banana in it as well. We're really healthy in this house. We try at least 1 banana a week between.
So you get the snow speeder with it, don't you, and everything as well?
No, that's separate. No, that comes separate.
Did I buy you that last year?
I kind of put all the things that I think are from Hoth together to try and make it look like I've got a really good Lego collection.
You have got a brilliant Lego collection, Nathan, and we're going to see more of Nathan's Lego collection as the week. As we were looking at how to pronounce or what the AT-AT or ATAT, who has changed their how they pronounce a well-known bounty hunter in Star Wars since The Mandalorian?
I think during the course of my life, I've called him Boba Fett, I've called him Bobby Fett, I've called him Boba Fett. Yeah.
Robert Fett.
Yeah. Whatever I want.
I've always called him Boba Fett.
I've started calling him Boba since.
I believe that Pop Not Broth is 100% right on this, because I either call this one a Scout Walker, which is what it was called when I was a kid, or an ATST. I never call it an ATST. So she's right.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I'd have to sound like it's from North Yorkshire. It's true.
And we've got.
Yeah, I just pronounced it Boba, and most people I know.
Do you say David Bowie or do you say David Bowie? You know what I mean? Is it a Bowie? A Bowie knife?
It's a Bowie knife, but it's David Bowie. Yeah, it's weird, that, isn't it?
Bowie knife as well. There's no double O in that shit.
I used to call Greedo Gredibilbo.
Did you?
And I found I were wrong.
I used to call your mum every night until she asked me not to anymore.
Yeah, she asked you not to.
No.
That's a big clue there.
Margaret.
You can only have so much of a good thing, Nathan.
I know. Anyway.
So, every week I challenge Nathan and Chris to come up with their best and worst of various categories. This week I challenged them to come up with their best and worst superhero. We're going to do villains another week, but to pick the best and worst superheroes. So we're going to go over to Lummy. What is your best superhero, Chris?
Best one without a doubt is our old boy Spider-Man.
You're going to say Spider-Man. Yeah.
Love it. Always loved him. Thought he's great. Brilliant. That's it. No, he's
What do you like about Spider-Man?
I just like it. It's real. You know what I mean? I always liked. I just liked it as a character, and I thought he was cool that he could stick to walls and spin on webs and all that.
Now, this is the thing with Spider-Man. The reason I love Spider-Man, and it is one of my top, and I could quite have easily replaced who I chose with Spider-Man, is because when he's wearing a suit, you're in awe of him, and when he's not wearing the suit, he's a massive dork. Do you know what I mean? And he's the underdog. He doesn't always get the girl. He doesn't always win the fight. He's got to hide his powers. He lives with his fucking auntie.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He's a bit of a dork.
Got his uncle killed.
He's like an everyman in that sense. Yeah, it's like an everyman in the sense that he's just a guy who for whom life deals out shit sometimes too. But then, it's brilliant. So is it the concept of what he can actually do, or is it the fact that because he's a funny? He's always got a one-liner, and
I was just about to say, the humor as well with it. It's like the one when I started reading it when I was a kid, I always thought it was funny when he were, wisecracking at villains, and you haven't really seen that, or I hadn't when I was reading comic books. They were all very straight-laced and everything, and then when you got to him, I was like, oh. And I think there was a British series, a British Spider-Man series, UK comic series. And I used to get it, and then they also did a Star Wars Marvel comic, and it had Spider-Man strips in it. I think there was.
He took his clothes off.
Strips in it.
Yeah, strips in it.
Completely down to his.
It was a kid's comic.
Wow.
Down to his spider pants,
spider penis,
spider pubes.
Well, so that's why. Fucking lemon. If you wanted a stupid answer, it's because he's got a red and blue suit, and I like red and blue because they're the only two colours I can see. There you go.
You're so patriotic, Chris. Can you see red, white, and blue? I bleed red, white, and blue.
Can't see white. I don't see white, Rich. Not like you.
Wow. Oh my God.
There you go. There's your comeback.
It only took you about 5 sentences before you got just like panning for comebacks. And what do you think of the accompanying cast of Spider-Man as well? Because actually there's some Jameson and people like that.
Oh yeah, he were great. Yeah, J. Jonah Jameson, he's brilliant, and he's always like, "Oh, go get pictures," and he's like, "I'll go get you them," but it's really me. It's like,
we know these pictures of goddamn Spider-Man.
Yeah. Go get me a picture of that prick. Okay, I'll get you a picture of that. Really, that prick. Okay, it's like,
kicking the balls every time he goes to work. He gets every time.
I also used to like the way that Stan Lee used to go. I think it was on the cartoon series, wasn't it, where he went, "Hey, Spidey fans!" I used to love that.
Yeah. I mean, if you remember the original comic, there was always a bit of blurb at the beginning, and it always ended it with like "Excelsior."
Yeah.
That's
his comic book word, isn't it? But yeah.
Do you have a preferred incarnation of Spider-Man? Is the comic book, or the cartoon, or the films? Do you have a favorite actor who played him?
Who's the best film Spidey so far, Lummy, in your opinion?
I like the new guy. I like Tom Holland. I think he's
Tom Holland's amazing.
Yeah, I like the fact that he does all his own flips and stuff as well, and you know.
Yeah.
Well, it's because he was one of the original Billy Elliots in the West End. He played Billy, and so I got loads of friends of mine who were, when they were little girls, they were the little ballet dancers around him in all those scenes in the stage show, and they're absolutely gobsmacked that he's gone to Hollywood and it's sort of been He's Spider-Man, you know. It's just that kid's.
Remember when he was younger, he was bitten by a radioactive spider at the time.
True. It's true.
That always helps in the casting. I mean, that's how he got the casting in it. He walked in and went, I got a spider bite when I was a kid. It was radioactive. I can do this shit.
Relevant experience. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Lummy and I worked at a cinema when the first Spider-Man came out. And this is how much I love Spider-Man. Like, every incarnation I've been impressed with. Even the Tobey Maguire one when it first came out. I was like, yeah, they're finally doing Spider-Man and they're doing it all right. It's not too bad. Get to number 3. Not so great.
Yeah.
It's brilliant because of Dr. Octopus. The thing that they fucked up in number 3, in my opinion, is they put Venom in it. Venom and Spider-Man. Never read a comic book.
They do it every time. They put too many villains in the movies and they can't keep it going. They did it with Batman, didn't they?
I am very much more the merrier person. Honestly, throw as many villains in as you want, as long as the movie's good. What didn't work for me is in the comic book when Spider-Man and Venom are fighting, they're knocking down buildings and they're breaking through windows and messing shit up because they're having a huge fight, but also they're cracking jokes at each other and it's really funny. And they just skipped over all that crap in the film. And
there's a question here, a good one. Here we go.
Ooh, that's a great question.
Yeah. Who would you get to play him?
I
can't think of anybody. You've stumped me, Pop Not Broth. Just him. Just re-record. Just record every word in the dictionary with that guy saying it in a few different ways.
Yeah, deep fake the shit out of it. Yeah. That's a really that's a.
I'm trying to actually think of anybody who you could use, but
no, that is a.
I mean, he's so good they just kept him in. He was in the normal Spider-Mans, wasn't he? With
Yeah. The thing I liked about the Tobey Maguire films was that so the Spider-Man comic books were really violent and they had some quite difficult subject matter sometimes. And I just think that the Tobey Maguire one, it was a lot darker than any kind of incarnation of Spider-Man I'd seen before. So originally, the first 2 films, I was like, yeah, this is pretty good. But
then that darkness in the third one turns into comedy darkness.
Exactly.
And it becomes ridiculous.
Which is exactly what they did with Batman. Which is what they did with Batman. Yeah.
It's just ridiculous.
Yeah.
Right.
Question about Carnage. We don't know this. I mean,
Carnage is coming in. I do. The sequel to Venom has got Carnage in it. And Spider-Man, allegedly. And
really?
Even in the title, I think it's something like Venom 2, this time it's Carnage, or Let There Be Carnage, or something like that.
Ooh, Venom got such a bad rap. That is an excellent film.
It's supposed to be Woody Allen. No, Woody Allen. Woody
Harrelson.
Give us a Woody Allen as Carnage.
My nephew loves the first Venom film. He used to watch it constantly, like all the time. And I used to say to him all the time, there's a line in there where he says, "Good night, Mrs. Chan," in the shop. And I don't know why, but I used to say that to him all the time. It used to drive him nuts. I don't know why. Just thought I'd say it. But he loves it.
I want to hear your incarnation of what Woody Allen would sound like in a Spider-Man movie.
Carnage. Woody Allen is Carnage.
Woody Allen.
By Woody Allen, I mean, I've got to fire some webs, but I don't know if I can really get the concept of webs across. It's not really something I could fire. I mean, am I going to use my web shooters, or is this going to come out of my ass? I don't. There you go.
Excellent.
Lummy, who is your worst superhero?
It is. Let me see. It's gotta be this guy. Now let me stress this. I don't mind the guy at all. I think he's a good actor and all that business. But this character, I just think you've got no powers, mate.
Well, he has got powers. Shooting an arrow.
I know it's not a power, is it?
Really. Yeah, I mean, like Robin Hood wasn't a superhero.
No,
He was just really good at firing a bow and
yeah.
arrow.
I mean, he could have got, if he'd have known, he could have cashed in a bit, couldn't he, and told everybody he won. You know, could have gone round. Robin Hood superhero.
About it as well is
What?
Hawkeye has got in the comics. Has got one of the worst outfits of any.
Yeah.
I mean, it's purple and pink and weird, and nothing wrong with purple and pink. But the design of the costume itself, it just looks really odd when he stood like next to.
Has he got like the mask that goes up there?
Yeah. It's just a bit. Yeah.
I like what they did with him in the last couple of Avengers films. They tried to sort of flesh out his character a bit more and give him sort of a bit more to work with. And I enjoyed the sort of how they worked with him and his sort of narrative.
I did like that. Was it Endgame that started with his family as well? That were cool, all that stuff. But I just think, you know,
by that point, you didn't give a shit about him because he'd been in several other films.
And gave you like a multi-pack, a 10-pack of all the Avengers figures. He'd be the last one you got out of the box.
Yeah, you won't be bothered. You don't need a Lego one, do you, of him?
Yeah,
you don't.
No, I've got a Lego one of him actually.
I mean, controversial, but if it had been snapped away, would you have gone? Has he gone?
You know what? I would have been gutted. I would have been gutted because I felt like actually out of a lot of the characters in the Avengers films, I cared more about him because they did give you that family backstory and
his family were lovely and stuff, and and
it showed about the life and what he wanted to do and how much they meant to him and all that sort of stuff, and also then showing just how fucked up he got when after the snap and things had gone to shit. He's a brilliant actor. I think he did the best he could with a shitty superhero character.
Yeah, he knows he's the shittest one though. That's the bad thing for Jeremy Renner, the guy who plays him. He's like, he knows people think he's the shittest one, so he's always having to defend Hawkeye. And it's like, dude, don't bother. You can't convince people here, man. You know, if you released a Hawkeye movie tomorrow, I wouldn't rush out to see it. You know, I think it'd be one way.
Got a new viewer.
Hey, L-Colin-19.
I'm with you until the WandaVision. I think it's got potential here, man. It's Paul Bettany, like I say in the show, he's doing a cracking job. But yeah, you have to watch the show to.
But that is a good shout because I didn't give a shit about him at all in Avengers in Infinity War when spoiler alert, when he died. Didn't care. In Wakanda when they were trying to carefully take the Infinity Stone out of his head, I just didn't care.
Yeah, well bothered.
Did you like look away from the thing going, "Not bothered"?
La.
I'm gonna eat my popcorn loud over this bit. Yum.
Yeah, I talk to myself to annoy myself. Yeah, absolutely.
He says he doesn't like going to the cinema, but that's not true. When he goes to the cinema, everyone's like, "Shut the fuck up, man! You're the dickhead in the cinema. Get out!" Trying to enjoy this Hawkeye movie.
You know that is not true at all.
Anyway, so
I end up being the guy that annoys everyone else because I'm passive aggressively huffing at everybody else that's annoying me. It's some
people have no respect. Sorry, what was that, mate? What did you say? Nothing.
That never happened. Nathan, who is your favorite superhero?
Well, it's like asking me which is my favorite testicle.
I love how difficult you find this. You're right one.
No, my favorite one. It was a toss-up between Spider-Man and Batman. I've loved Spider-Man since I was a kid, but as I've become a grown-up adult, basically. So a few years ago, it started to bug me that I'd actually never read a lot of comics, man. When I was a kid, that was the last thing I would have spent my money on. Maybe got the Beano once in a while, but my money went on stickers and sweets, and usually bus fare to get into town and watch a movie and come back, something like that. Now, I never wasted my money on comics. I never spent my money on comics. I always regretted it, but it was always a mountain of stuff to get through. Do you know what I mean? There was no place to jump in from the beginning. You were already 400 issues into Batman. So what was the fucking point? So I just never bought any. Now, when I started working for the railway and I started earning decent money, once a month, I'd just collect a load of graphic novels. And I really wanted to read Batman. I really wanted to see what I'd missed out on the past 80 years of Batman history. So I did. I started reading Batman, and as an adult, he became my favorite because there's things I don't like about Batman, but what I love about Batman is the storylines, is the villains, is the shit he gets himself, is the fact that his greatest asset is his mind and his money, you know, and the fact that he's a human being. He has to work out to be a superhero. He just has to be better than everybody, you know. And if you've ever read any of the comics where he fights Superman, you learn more about him. It's like, okay, bad example, but Batman versus Superman, the movie, the first time they fight, Superman kicks his ass. So he goes away and he invents a Superman, a suit capable of fighting Batman, fighting Superman. You know what I mean? And it's that sort of attention to detail from him. He's not just the superhero; he's the world's greatest detective. There's always a mystery to sort out. You know what I mean? So it ended up being.
But he doesn't actually have any superpowers, similarly to Hawkeye. So what makes him different to Hawkeye in terms of, does a superhero need to have? Because that was one of the criticisms we had, that he doesn't have any discernible powers.
Well, first off, he's got a better costume.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? In the comics, generally, even in the worst Batman comics, he still looks better than the best Hawkeye drawing.
Do you know what? As well, he doesn't act like he's got superpowers.
No, he's a human being.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, look at this again, right? I've got loads of powers, me, and look at me, I'm great.
I'm a dude in a rubber suit.
Yeah, I've got gadgets and money and stuff.
Actually, he looks like he's got Batman looks like he's got indigestion in that picture there. Like,
questions about Batman. People, they always come up, right? So, how the fuck did Batman, even though he's a billionaire, how did he build the Batcave without getting any external help? No cement pourers came in to lay the foundations. Nobody did the plumbing. Him and Alfred did it all. What they did the fucking electrics. Do you know what I mean? What for the whole Batcave? They hooked up that super internet and like Bat computer all by themselves. Built several Batmobiles. I mean, from what I know about Alfred's history, he was in the military, and he was a bit of a secret agent type character. But it never mentions that he studied how to make a fucking Batmobile from scratch, or you know what I mean? Never actually tells you any of that. And you get a huge portion of the Batman storyline where Bruce Wayne leaves Gotham, goes and studies martial arts with Ra's al Ghul and the what are they called? The bloody
League of Shadows.
Yeah, he goes and studies with them. He learns how to be a badass. He learns how to make smoke bombs and the art of disappearing and stuff like that. But he never spends like 7 or 8 years at MIT learning how to be an engineer. He just knows that shit. Do you know what I mean? So that bugs me a little bit about him. But having said that, it's still my best one.
I was just going to say, is that your best one?
It is my best one. He's the best one. The storylines, the villains, recent stuff. I haven't read much of the recent stuff, but a couple of years ago, the Court of Owls saga was absolutely excellent. You know,
who's been your favorite portrayal of Batman actor-wise? So what we've got, Adam West, we've got Christian Bale. Christian Bale.
Okay, I like. I like what they did.
Robert Pattinson, the kid from Gotham.
He could be Ace.
And what do you call him? What's he called? Affleck. Ben Affleck.
Oh God, yeah.
You know, Batfleck didn't do a bad job. I was expecting to hate that movie, and it was passable for me. There were things that were messed up about it, but
we're also forgetting. How can we forget George Clooney and Val Kilmer as well?
For me, Ben Affleck could have done a much worse job. I was expecting much worse things from it. He wasn't the problem with the movie. Superman was the fucking problem with the movie. Anyway, now. What were we talking about? I've lost track. My favorite.
I was asking who your favorite
one. So this is where it gets weird because my favorite run of the movies is the Christopher Nolan ones, but that's not my favorite Batman. My favorite Batman's Michael Keaton.
Yeah,
just because
Val Kilmer, really? Val Kilmer, wow.
Just because Michael Keaton fucking rocks. Nobody wanted him to have that part. Like I think Tim Burton fought for him really hard to get that part. They were like, Beetlejuice in the fucking Batman suit. What are you talking about? Clown.
Quite short as well.
I think he's great. But again, time hasn't, for me, time hasn't really done many favors to those Tim Burton Batman movies. Kind of.
I still really like that first one. I think
I
it's
like
brilliant,
them,
and I think it still stands up.
Batman Returns is fucking great. I love Batman Returns, but it's the music and the feel of it and the snow and the romance of it I like. And some of the lines in it. Mistletoe can be deadly if you eat it.
Yeah.
I'm just going to stop there like my internet.
Yeah, I did. It did look like your internet frozen.
I was waiting for Lummy to do his Michelle Pfeiffer, but he just didn't pick up on it.
I left you hanging, sorry.
So who's your worst superhero, Nathan?
My worst one?
You can't remember who you picked, can you?
Here we go. I'll give you a quick.
There we go.
Captain America. Maybe it's an American thing, and you have to be American to give a shit that is Captain America. But I just don't care. You know what I was amazed by with the Avengers movies is, for me, that is the most interesting carnation of Captain America I've seen. It actually made him interesting for me. I didn't care that he was in the films; it didn't ruin it for me. But as for the comics, just a little bit. I get it, man. They came out when the Second World War was on, and he was fighting Nazis, and people needed that boost. But I just don't care for him. I don't like his suit. I don't like his stupid face.
Have you ever seen the 1990s version of Captain America, the film?
Yes, I have. Yeah. I don't know what to say about it, though. I thought you were going to put a picture up there.
No.
But yeah, it's the licensing for Marvel went really weird, didn't it, in the late 90s? There was a really awful Fantastic Four and Captain America. They did some really dodgy stuff, but somehow it's, like I say, the latest incarnation of Captain America is absolutely fine. I think Chris Evans does a wonderful job with him, and I can't believe it's the same guy from the fucking Big Breakfast. Looks so different.
I know. Well, it's because they dyed his hair. When you put the thing,
and they took his glasses off. Everybody knows if you take your glasses off, totally different.
Exactly that. I mean, it's perfectly suited to be a superhero. Cool.
I mean, I hope I'm not upsetting anybody. In fact, I don't care if you like Captain America. That's your problem. Suck it.
My favourite superhero is actually every week. I actually haven't read any of this guy's comic books, but the film was brilliant. Well, both films were brilliant. In fact, I think the sequel was your favourite sequel the other week when we were doing this. It is Deadpool. Brilliant comic book character in the films. And I'm basing this purely on the medium that I've seen him in. Ryan Reynolds is awesome. I mean, stick that guy in anything and he'll make it good. He's just
maybe not.
Go on. What? Oh, was he in Peter Rabbit too?
No, he was in Green Lantern, one of the critically.
Oh yeah, that was.
He was really famous and sexy. He's in a load of shocking fucking romantic comedies. Van Wilder, for God's sake.
All right, well, put modern Ryan Reynolds in anything, and he does a good job of it. He's brilliant.
I mean, no Peter Rabbit too.
Oh, no, I'm still going to see that movie, man. Jesus, it's working. You should work for whatever film company released that, Lummy. Just keep showing up to people's houses until we go see the movie.
But yeah, Deadpool, I just think it's funny. I just think it's really, really funny. It's kick-ass. He's a brilliant anti-hero, and I really enjoyed both of the Deadpool films. Green Lantern, I've just been corrected on that. I do stand corrected. And my worst superhero, and Webby and I,
Deadpool. I just want to say a couple of things about it. Now, number one is you haven't read the comics, but they are pretty fit. When you're reading Deadpool, you're reading Ryan Reynolds' voice, man. Like, it is a really good comic for breaking the fourth wall again. He's constantly, I remember that, where you can hear the dog and the cat. Is that right? Yeah, you can hear. He's like hearing the animals talk to him. Sorry. Anyway, Deadpool, the comic book, well worth a look at. In fact, if only you had a mate who had them all, so every time you came up here, you could read whatever you want, man. I've got them on my shelf. I seriously recommend the first volume of the.
Okay, next time I'm up, I will definitely plow into them.
And it is, it's so so Deadpool. You know what I mean?
Cool. No, I look forward to it. And my worst superhero, Webby and I had to battle this one out, but I think we've ended up picking ours for the same reasons. Really, it's Superman. Oh man, Superman's just. It's okay. So he's got no personality. It's just a really boring superhero, and it's everybody around Superman, particularly in the films. Everyone around Superman that makes him slightly more interesting. So you know,
I feel the same way about Superman. My problem with Superman is that he's got all these amazing powers, but he ain't got the power to hold my fucking interest for 2 seconds.
Do you not like? Hang on, then. Hang on. I'm going to have to ask this. Do you not like the original film?
No,
when I was about 5,
when I was a kid,
I still like it. Yeah,
nah.
I still like it, mate.
And I haven't enjoyed any version of Superman. Just none. Not one version of
questions with Superman. The guy can do anything, right? Maybe it's my lack of knowledge about Superman, really. But so
there you go.
He can do anything, and he's not scared of anyone. And he can shoot lasers from his eyes. He can breathe ice stuff. You know, he can
blow people away. Yeah,
fly, all that. Why does he need an alter ego? Why does he need Clark Kent? I mean, he puts a pair of glasses on, and a whole city has to pretend they don't know who the fuck he is.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Don't get me wrong. My memories of the films, they're all right. Christopher Reeves is great. Not a problem with him. I think him as Superman is the epitome of Superman. It's about as close to liking Superman as I'll ever come. But unfortunately, it's just shit.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's just a really boring, no personality, no interest superhero. And it staggers me that he's as famous as he is.
There is a good bit of it, though. I mean, the best bit for me is in, I can't remember which Frank Miller Batman it is, The Dark Knight or The Dark Knight Rises, or where Batman and Superman have a fight. And there's this panel where Batman finally knocks the shit out of Superman for a similar reason. He's got Kryptonite. What is it? Kryptonite. He's got Kryptonite in his suit. And he's just battering the hell out of Superman. And there's a bit at the end of the comic, on one panel, where he's stood there with his foot on Superman's neck. And it's just the darkest shit he's saying to him. He says, I want you to remember this, Clark. I want you to remember it was me who fucking knocked you on your ass. It was me that beat you. You know what I mean? It's just, honestly, that's the best. Seeing him get his ass kicked, that's the best thing Superman ever did. But yeah, just my opinion.
Oh, cool. No, and we'll be back with more best and worst sections next week. But the bit that we've all been waiting for, we've sat through 73 minutes of this shit just to get through to everybody's favourite film. We're going to have every week we have Peter Rabbit 2. Every week it's
my future favourite film.
Every week we have a retrospective look back at some of our favourite films, and because we've started off with the Star Wars franchise, we've decided to break it up with some sort of standalone films every other week. And this week we have chosen to take a retrospective view at the Goonies. Gentlemen, oh my God! I mean, I've never met a single person who doesn't like the Goonies. Not one person.
A lot of people. I haven't asked them all, actually. I might have to go back.
First thing I ask people. It's the first thing I ask people. Yeah.
Do you like the Goonies?
Yeah. The only reason we're friends is because you both like the Goonies.
Yeah, but if you stop asking people in the cinema when they're in the middle of watching the fucking movie, you know what I mean?
Maybe it's a more enjoyable experience for everybody.
You like the Goonies? It's better than this shit, isn't it?
Yeah. So, how many times do you think you guys have watched the Goonies before? Or we rewatched it for this? 8? Yeah, something like that.
Loads. I don't know. 30, 40, 50, 3,000 times.
What's your most memorable line from the Goonies? I mean, hey, you guys, it's everybody's.
There's so many.
There's loads. There's too many.
There's lines that I listened to as an adult that I didn't understand when I was a kid.
Yeah.
Time round, like picking up on certain lines, but you can't beat stuff like, hey, That's my mom's most favorite piece. You want to beat her if it wasn't. That sort of shit. You can't beat it.
Hey,
hang on, that's
give me a big word literary kiss.
You know what I mean? It's
Have
just
you-
classic line after classic
have we
line.
got some pictures of the Goonies, Lummy? Because I'm hoping you have got a picture of his mum's favourite bit. His mum's favourite piece.
I've got the. Hang on. I'm gonna go down. Bastards.
I'm your mum's favourite bit.
Oh,
Got that.
Oh, look at him.
I don't got it. Oh, Chunk.
I don't get it.
So there's Chunk played by Jeff Cohen, one of the few Goonies cast that actually really didn't do much at all afterwards. He had a couple of bit parts. No, exactly. And if you see him now, yeah, he was like this. He was like this, just this token chunky
lawyer in Hollywood now, isn't he? He went to like law school and stuff. It's crazy.
And he's really skinny as well. He's really tall and skinny. He looks nothing like Blubber Chunk. But that favourite bit about knocking the penis off the statue is when they glue it back on upside down. But it's like all kids just think dicks stick upwards. All kids of that age. It's just like, well, it's always pointing upwards. It's like, why would that
You'll be pissing in your own faces. You know, no, my favourite line is, "Oh God, I'm so depressed," with the squirty cream. I love that. I love it all. Just line after line. Bring it on. My only problem.
What else have we got, Lummy? Go on, Nathan. Not enough lines. So we had a chat the other week because you found some deleted footage from the Goonies that we showed a couple of weeks ago. Do you think the film would be any better for having that footage in it, or do you think they made the right choice?
No, they made the right choice with that footage. With the ending, wasn't it? That we watched the alternate ending, and it's like, nah, the ending they've got's great. You know, nice and
even if they'd managed to be able to get that animatronic octopus thing to work, I don't think you're talking about a movie. It's already jam packed. So there's supposed to be a scene where they come down the water slides and land in the big pool. In the original script, they actually filmed the scene where there's a giant octopus that tangled them all up in its tentacles, but it looked really shit, so they just cut it out. But honestly, they don't need it. It's fine. No. It's fine as it is. I love that film.
So there's another bit. Do you know the bit at the end where they say about the octopus and that? There's another line in it. What Mouth says to Steph, they're on about thanks for offering to save my life. That's another deleted bit, right? Apparently, there were a scene where they stood on the plank, right, before Sloth flies in and saves them. And she says, I'll give you my breath if we go underwater and start drowning. So that's a thing
like
to cut out.
Thing for a 13-year-old, isn't it?
Yeah.
How it all works, isn't it?
Obviously, that line's still in the
movie. And she says to him, you know, your face ain't that bad when your mouth don't screw it up. And then he goes, you know, you look out so bad when your face don't screw it up. I'm like, and then they have a big hug. I'm like, you know, he's just fucking massively dissed you there, right? He just basically said, you're ugly no matter what. Like, you know,
but it's the subtext in it, Webb. They didn't mean it. They meant it like, you know.
They're probably married. I reckon they're married. In the
right. Okay. So watching this back this time. So that letter. So first of all, is wearing sunglasses in jail. That always really, and his regular street clothes. That always kind of was. He's wearing no prison uniform there, and one guard goes.
It's county jail. That's why it's county jail.
And one guard goes to check on him without any backup. That's fine, but he reads a note. He reads a note that starts off with "You schmuck," right, by the suicide, and then he carries on reading the note, and I'm going like, then what? Wait, surely there's a little clue there. Right?
You schmuck! You honestly thought I'd kill myself? And he's like, huh? What?
Yeah, and then he's looked at, and then the Fratelli brother manages to get through that entire sort of jail house or whatever it is, police station, without encountering a single policeman. He just knocks out one policeman with one uppercut, sort of one weird sort of uppercut punch, and he managed to escape the police station without encountering another policeman at all
There are
before
a
jumping
few
in the
ones.
car.
If you're going to suspend belief like that, then you know there's a few little bit. Like, where did he get?
I can
hanging the thing
explain all this.
Go on.
Where did he get the thing
Right.
from that he's hanging from? He's got a metal thing up his back that he's hanging from. Where did
And
he get
also,
Sink. It's a sink.
yeah,
thing.
it is. It's on the sink,
Oh.
but it's facing
For
the
everything.
corridor. It's open bars though, so everybody would be able to see that wasn't that guard that he is got a device to.
Now,
Right? At the start, they say there's a lunch break, right? They say they're going on lunch. That's why they're taking them all out of cells. So obviously the other guards are going to be with all the other guys in the thing. And he calls last one, doesn't he? So he goes on his own. You know, there's explanation for all this stuff.
Okay.
the guard that reads the note looks like the epitome of the guy who is, oh my God, he was just 2 days from retirement before the fatality. He never had an incident in 35 years as a prison guard, and this guy knocked him on his ass 2 days before retirement. He looks like that guy, you know.
Yeah,
But
he
one
very
thing
much
I've noticed this time that I don't think I've ever noticed is after the senior Fratelli brother, I think he's the older brother, isn't he? I can't remember his first name. Do you ever know his first name?
Jake.
Jake. The one who's hanging. No, hanging. He escapes from prison as his brother's pouring out the kerosene, and he comes out and he's got fucking Indiana Jones's hat on his head. Like, and I'm looking at it thinking, hang on a minute, this is connected to Steven Spielberg. That could quite easily. I had to phone Lummy, and I'm like, Lummy, is that Indiana Jones's hat? And you were like, yeah. Yeah, so quite.
He says that on I think on the commentary, on the DVD commentary, it says that he stole it from Harrison Ford. I don't know if that's true or not, but he did say that on it.
To be fair, you wouldn't mess with that guy, would you?
Nah.
Harrison Ford.
No.
He looks a bit like a proper gangster.
Yeah,
Robert
and
Downey.
he set his mum on you, and his mum's fucking terrifying.
Yeah.
You've seen License to Kill with him in, haven't you? Bond
I know,
film.
yeah, he's the Bond villain, for God's sake. That's how scary he is. They should have had his mum as the Bond villain. Fucking hell.
Yeah, terrifying.
Oh, well, there you go.
There she is.
She's a looker.
Mama Fratelli.
Anne Ramsey. Now, have you got
Marion Ramsey, isn't it? I thought. No. Is it Anne? I don't know.
I thought it's Anne Ramsey.
I thought it was
Have you got a shot of the fire around the police station?
I've only got this where he bangs his nose on window.
Yeah, because actually there are two massive holes where there's no fire at all, where the police officers could quite easily get out of there. Yeah,
They're all on lunch.
yeah. That's two of them run out, putting coats on, chasing after him.
Hang on. Lummy's got an explanation for that, but I'll tell you what it is because he hasn't made it up yet. Basically, what they'd missed out was the bit where his brother shouts, "Don't worry about the police, just leave 2 gaps in the fire," because they're all on lunch and they just cut it out. They didn't have time to show
That makes
it
perfect sense.
A lot of stuff that got cut out. Yeah. We'll tell you more. So, right, we meet all the Goonies in turn. Here we go. Come on, let's get through this bit.
She's not a
So
Goonie
you got
yet.
Andy.
It's not a Goonie yet.
Future
And
Goonie.
again, here you go. A bit of trivia. They cut a scene out where she takes the Goonie oath to become a Goonie after the wishing well thing.
Ah, right. Do you
And
know
the
what
Goonie
that
oath.
is? Ah,
I
come
do
on,
know
give us the Goonie oath.
where?
I'm
I've got
amazed
the
that you
Goonie-
can't recite it. I'm amazed you can't recite it off by heart.
I've got the
bet you
Goonie storybook, and I think it is in here. I'll have a look, though. Keep talking. I'll have a
Okay,
look.
so we get introduced to some of the characters, and then while the Fratellis are escaping, they've got this big plan that they're going to join like a 4x4 beach
Hang on a
race.
minute. There's your
problem with this. What
there's
is
your
a plausible way to escape?
Yeah. But there it is.
fire.
Look,
Where's the holes in the fire?
Okay.
Where?
So, top right hand corner of that, there is some railings that you could quite easily jump over.
There.
Look how low that fire is. The flames are really low. You can jump over that.
Fucking hop over that, mate.
I could
All
put
right.
petrol over my right.
So they
but
get
anyway,
to the beach.
Look at
And
the beach.
The Fratelli brothers are
All
like,
these people who are in this race.
yeah. She goes, "Hold on to your hats, boys. I got a plan." And she bezzes onto the. I love that bit. I love it.
Right, it's great, but they managed to smoke every single professional racer that's in that race. They just overtake every single one of them. They're
Everybody
all
else,
four-wheel drive.
They got a head start, didn't they? They got a head start.
Yes.
It's not
You've explained it for me.
The introduction to most of the Goonies comes while that car chase is going on. You know what I mean? I love that. I love how they're all just standing by the window and he squashes his milkshake against it. It's like,
look at this. That bit's not in the movie. We're getting deleted stuff here, guys. That is not in the movie.
I think that is in the movie. He's playing the game.
He's not playing the game. He does this.
Yeah. But he's in the arcade. Yeah.
He's in the arcade, but you don't see that.
I'm so excited to see a police chase that he squishes his burger and his milkshake against the window. Like,
so here we see Mouth. Over at what's Mikey and Brandon's house. So we know that they've had a visitor today, right? Mouth has come over.
That's not Mikey.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it's because he starts off at their house. I'm pretty sure.
No, it's not. No.
That's not Mikey.
That's not Mikey's house. He's just with his dad, who's doing some plumbing.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Yeah. Something.
No, Nathan, I'm sorry.
Then this is weird, right? I've never understood why she is in this tub. You know, she's in the water tub thing, the barrel.
It's hot.
Is it?
Really?
Don't look
a really sunny day.
I reckon they've thought we need to put her on the dock.
Yeah, maybe
What's she doing? What's she doing?
I don't know. Maybe she's just one of them weirdo teenagers that likes to barrel wash.
Data.
See, this hasn't aged well, but if you saw this movie at the right time, you don't even care about any of that shit because it's just a kid that happens to be Chinese and he talks a bit funny. It's not deliberate slant on all the Oriental people in the world. It's just one of them things. That poor kid, though.
The thing is, he did an amazing job of Short Round, and he's a great actor. In fact, he's actually he's a director now. He hasn't done any more acting, but he also was the fight director on one of the X-Men films.
And there was a massive rumor that he was Glenn in The Walking Dead.
Oh yeah.
Total bullshit. Because there were two Chinese actors around. Yeah,
smoking all of the other competition.
Yeah. Screenplay, Chris Columbus, story, Spielberg. You got some heavy hitters here, you know.
Yeah, absolutely.
Donner.
And Richard Donner, director, you know, it's some good names. And then you've got
the cast as adults now, how fondly they talk about the people they worked with on this movie. That you know, they were such good people and so accommodating with the kids and just great. Yeah.
I mean, Josh Brolin has gone on to have a pretty flipping good career in his later life. I mean, God. But okay, so this is my issue. So we see that Mouth is there at Mikey's house, right? And now they have this door opening system that relies on a chicken laying an egg for the gate to open. So if you've already had, so that means that you can only have one visitor a day because chickens don't lay more than one egg a day.
No, I'm gonna stop you there.
Yes.
There. Oh, come on, man! Right, later on in the movie, when they're escaping on the bikes after they've tied Brand up, right? I can defend this film till I'm blue at face, man. You're picking the wrong film to do this way.
No, go for it.
Right, this bit. Right, the other side of the gate, to the left-hand side of the gate, there's another exit, right, which both Mouth and Mikey jump out of. So there's another way in the gate in the garden.
Yep.
And you think that's how Mikey arrived?
Yep.
Sorry, how Mouth arrived to the house.
Mouth arrived. Yep.
Right. So why didn't Chunk just go through that entrance or exit?
Because obviously they won't let him.
Yeah,
there's said he can't.
Yeah, you have to come.
It's bullying. Okay, that's fine.
There again. Look, this is a good way of showing you pictures quick, isn't it? This. There he is.
What I would say about this, right, was I'm looking at this from. We've got like what? When did this come out? 1986, something like that.
85?
86. So, you know, quite a spell of time after.
It was the year after Temple of Doom. It came out the year after Temple of Doom.
Right. I realised a couple of things in this film. Well, first thing is, this is another film where it features very heavily a completely oblivious, blind 80s mum. People could be smoking crack in the corner of a living room, and she's just like, guys, this is a mess. You're like, it's okay.
I've got a picture. I've got a picture with her and Rosalie to look
Brilliant.
at this.
Don't get me wrong, she plays it fantastically. But what is with all the 80s mums? Like just ignoring the kids. Ferris Bueller is the same thing. She just will not believe that this kid's a little shit. You know what I mean?
Hey, I've got a question for you. How would you spell truffle shuffle?
TRUFFLE and then shuffle SHUFFLE.
Not according to the Goonies storybook.
Right.
SCHUFFLE. Shuffle like a SC. Can't show you that close. No, shuffle.
Is that how you like shuffleboard? Is that how you spell that, mate?
It's like a German spelling of it. Weirdly.
Yeah.
Hang on.
Hey, your reading's coming along, Lummy.
There you go. You see it?
You've been practicing.
Truffle shuffle.
I just like the fact that
he said exposed his pudgy middle.
I like the fact that Lummy gets rid of all of his Roger Red Hat and Billy Blue Hat books from the background before we start.
They're down here. They're down here.
Rich, I love the fact that in the middle of his own show, he's pulled out a book and distracted himself from what the fuck he got the book out from. He can't stop reading the book. You're reading the wrong page. Where's this bloody Goonies off, you prick?
Yeah, no.
You did it.
It's exactly what you did.
That's exactly what happened.
Brilliant.
There's another. I'm finding all the deleted stuff for you here. We've got another one. That's not in it.
But
that's not in the film.
Just be production photos, dude. Like, shows up on the set and he goes, right, you Chinese kid with all the devices, go mess around and I'll take some shots. You know, simple as that.
I'll find you some. All right, right. Let me. Right.
So they right. This is one issue. And Lummy, I'm sure you've got a reason to defend this. But if you live in this house for years and your dad has an attic full of really fucking cool shit like that, you'd be up there playing there all the time. But it's like it's the first time these kids have gone up there.
Not only that,
also, how does Mouth speaks Spanish, very good Spanish. I get that, and I can buy into that, and he does a really good job helping Mikey's mum out with the cleaning lady. But how does he know 17th century Spanish when he's reading the map? I'm like, what? Ye olde!
Ruining this movie, you cunt! You shouldn't be doing this.
He's got us on this.
Really?
He's brought us on.
I love this film.
False pretenses.
I love the Goonies. I love the Goonies, but this is the first time I've sat with a paper and pen and made notes on it.
Never mind all the attic. How did they not know that shit were up there? What kind of museum does his dad work in? I
think you'll find no. Wait, sorry. I think you'll find it's pronounced ATIC.
He's not having that. He's not having it.
He's not having it. He's not having that.
Either that or his camera's frozen.
No, this is a serious point, right?
Sorry.
What kind of museum allows a curator to just take whatever the fuck he wants home from the museum and store it in his attic?
Well, he's the curator. He's the curator. He's the person who makes those decisions.
Doesn't mean you can take what. So if I go get a job at the London Museum of Natural History or whatever, I can just take whatever the fuck I want home and store it in my attic.
Oh, I mean, if you're the curator, maybe
I can explain it. It says in the film. It says in the film he did an exhibition about the pirates, and that's why the stuff's at his house, because the exhibition is finished.
You know what?
So it's
You're
there
right.
to go back. It's there to go back.
Yeah. I like the fact that when they exhibited it, it had all the dust on it as well, and they never cleaned any of that dust off.
Yeah,
I can explain it.
It was old dust. It was 400-year-old dust.
Dust in Astoria gathers in attics more than in any other place in America.
That's true, yeah, because of the climate.
Yeah, absolutely.
Anyway, so we're about 10 minutes into this fucking film, right?
Yeah. So they decide they're going to go and find the treasure and the lead Brown and all that sort of stuff, and then they escape. But
why? Why do they go? Why do they need to desperately find the really important plot point here? Look, these two guys, the Perkins in it, and his dad, Troy Perkins, his dad, Mr. Perkins. They're going to build a golf course. They're going to tear down the houses. You've got dilemma, classic dilemma here, classic.
I love golf, but I love living in a house.
Yeah. So
And
they
then
go,
you've got hang on this bit as well. Look, touching moment here with them. Look, come on.
Yeah, that's sweet. That's the thing that carries this film for me. Is it's funny, it's exciting, it's an adventure, but it's the heart in this film. It just runs all the way through it. Find a way of winning you over. I've got a couple.
You do buy into Bran and Mikey's relationship as big brother and little brother as well. Actually, that is really very credible.
You mean he's not his dad?
Now, then we come to a really odd point where Brandon's love rival physically attempts to fucking murder him.
He tries to kill him.
Just attempts to kill him in front of two birds that he's trying to impress, or one girl he's trying to sleep with, and the best mate.
Or witnesses, we should say.
And
Witnesses, yeah.
And instead of her showing up, when she shows up to meet the Goonies outside the restaurant, instead of her saying, "Oh, I'm sorry about my boyfriend trying to kill you," she goes, "He tried to touch my boob, so I slapped his head." What did she say? Slapped.
Yeah, something like that.
Elbowed him in the lip.
I elbowed him in the lip. And you're like, well, so the attempted murder, that didn't move you at all, but as soon as he tried to grab your boob.
Yeah, it's incredible that Brandon doesn't have a single broken bone after falling off like almost cliff. And then he manages to find the Goonies. How does he know? He didn't know where they were going. How does he find them? No, if he dealt it, maybe. But... So this is the thing that does confuse me. And Lovey's trying desperately to claw at a reason for this, a rationale. But he finds them without knowing where they went. And then the girls that were off with Andy's boyfriend, they also managed to find out where all of them are. Where the fuck did they come from?
Easy. Right. When he flew off his bike, he went into the bit where they were, and he found all their bikes that they'd left at the side of the thing. And the only place
that another cut scene that's in the book that you're looking at.
Yeah, and the only place.
While trying to attempt murder on Brandon, Troy actually helped him out because he shot him off the cliff, and he ended up exactly where the kids left all the bikes. And he thought, well, I nearly died, but at least
I found my brother. Yeah, exactly.
And the girls just followed the trail of broken leaves that he made through the woods.
I'm sorry, I've been so cynical, but it's been so easily explained all the time.
I don't give a shit about any of it. I just want to know what the fucking oath is.
I can't find it.
Yeah, I don't believe it. So
after all that,
so they've managed to find, luckily or unluckily, they've managed to find the Fratelli's secret hideout, and they get caught there. And this is kind of the start of the adventure, really, isn't it? It's where it starts to get a bit darker. It's where it starts to get a bit more exciting.
Yeah, it's where there's lots of crazy stuff going on. And I mean, okay, I got a couple of questions, some weird questions, right? Mouth, okay? This kid is so vain, despite having the most 80s hair ever. What kind of 13-year-old, 12-year-old kid carries a fucking compact mirror with him?
That is literally just to make that one joke to Brandon, where he shows him, where he talks about somebody ugly and puts the mirror in front of Brandon's face.
Smart, what's she called?
Steph.
I can't remember.
Steph. Yeah.
Yeah, he holds it up to her. Yeah, you want to see something really scary.
Isn't it? Yeah.
So Mouth.
It's just for that joke.
Yeah, but Mouth is a dick, right? First of all, he ridicules his fat friend and finds it really funny that this guy's fat. Oh, look at him shaking his tummy. Now you can come in. Now you can be a Goonie.
Yeah.
But yeah, they don't take the piss out of. I mean, so again, he goes to the base value thing all the time. You're ugly. You're fat. You know what I mean? He's just a wanker.
He's a bit of an arsehole, to be honest.
Read the book. Put the book on the shelf if you can't find it.
I'm trying to find. I'm trying to find the Goonie off for you.
Google it.
Do you know what? I'm just Googling it now because, that's probably going to be the quickest way of being able to do this.
I'm listening to you. I'm listening.
I've got 3 hours to watch you read a book.
Seriously, man.
Jesus.
Do you know what I've just put into Google? Google.
You're going to Google.
I'll put that one down. I'll put that one down.
Oh my god! What is that? Goonies? What is that? Like a standalone book? Like another adventure?
It's a plot yourself adventure book.
Ooh, Cavern of Horror. That sounds
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah.
Is the
I
Goonies
see
off
the
in that
Goonies.
one?
Goonies off
Hey,
right
got
here on
it.
the back.
Got it. Is
On the
it?
back
Got it.
page. Dipshit.
Have you actually got it?
No, no, it's not.
Okay. I will never betray my goon doc friends. We will stick together until the whole world ends. Through heaven and hell and nuclear war, good pals like us will stick like tar. In the city or the country or the forest or the boonies, I am proudly declared a fellow Goonie.
Don't rhyme.
There you go.
Rhyme. That's why they didn't put it in the book, because it doesn't rhyme.
I'm glad they cut it. Fuck them. So
I've just found it.
oh, you idiot. Lummy, put the book down. Come on.
Seriously, Lummy, step away from the book.
I don't want to read your book.
Lummy, step away from the book. Now.
All right, it's down. What the
So,
hell?
They go
Bloody hell,
into the
it's down.
restaurant, they discover the owners of the restaurant. The restaurant's not open. Surprise, surprise, it's the Fratellis in the restaurant.
Yeah.
They work their way, you know, they figure out that the Fratellis are pretty evil. They somehow sneak their way past while the Fratellis go out to get rid of a couple of dead bodies. And that's where they find the entrance. There's other stuff that happens, but that's where they find the entrance to the caves. It's going to take them down the treasure map route to follow
the fireplace
of Chester Copperpot. Now, I wanted to ask, do you think that 17th, 14th century pirates or whatever, do you think they all had to take booby trap building classes? Because these are pretty advanced traps. You would have to make those traps with you on the journey, expecting to get to the other end, to be trapped, to need to make some booby traps. Because
and to have rope. And to have rope that's not going to deteriorate over 300 years.
And to build a working pipe organ out of skeleton bits. That's got to be a challenge.
I see them all the time.
Oh, right, okay. But you are in the
three of them upstairs. I've got 3 of them upstairs.
We get a lot of them in the theatres.
Yes, we do. Yeah, backstage.
Backstage.
There's
a lot of, I mean, how did they build all of it? Water slides, you know, how did they do all that?
I can explain that.
Go on, man.
Natural erosion.
I fucking can't.
But yeah, we don't want to explain it. We want to
we don't.
just laugh at it because that's what it's there for. And it's
so they go through, okay. So we're approaching probably many people's fondest part of the film or fondest scene of the film. I don't know about you, but it's Chunk and Sloth meeting each other.
Works
it's such a beautiful scene.
Chunk is a fucking fantastic actor. I'm glad he's a lawyer. I'm glad he's lived in his dream. But that kid, we missed out on what that kid could have been in movies. He's a fucking fantastic actor. His comedic timing, brilliant.
You've missed the best bit. You've missed the bit before that, where he's telling us about he does this.
This
of course.
Where you have to explain everything, you know, to tell me everything. Everything. Yeah, everything. Yeah. Okay. I mean, it's just so ingratiated in my brain because of him, because of the way he performs it. You remember the beats of his breathing. You remember also, he's just a genius kid. We really lost out on what he could do as an actor.
Now, that scene as well always reminded me of the scene we're in Stand By Me, where he's talking about the throwing up in the cinema.
No.
They vomit down.
You're talking
and the pie eating thing where they all eat the... Yeah. It reminds me, exactly. Always reminded me of that as a kid.
But whenever you get child actors in a group together that can actually act, that's why Stand By Me works as well, in my opinion, because they're good actors, the story's good, the script's good, but we've seen what happens with a good story and some shit actors. It's always going to be a shit film. These ones are lucky. The Goonies and Stand By Me work for the same reasons, because the actors really gel together. And it's probably Corey Feldman, isn't it? Guy with the genius.
Yeah, exactly. What an amazing young actor that kid was. And he was in some of my favourite films that I grew up watching.
Gremlins.
Yeah.
He's awesome in Goonies. He's awesome in the one I just said that I've forgotten.
Stand By Me.
Stand By Me.
Yeah. It's just that it works really well. And again, I think Steven Spielberg, we worked a lot with child actors, and he always, most of the time, he gets a really good performance out. Look at E.T., the kids in that film. You don't even know they're acting. It's like it's just. So
I'm amazed that Feldman never made a popular comeback like in something like Stranger Things or something like that, like they did with Winona Ryder. I'm just amazed, because he tried to make a comeback several times. The guy's still a brilliant actor, and he's done a couple of TV series and things like that, but nothing
Who?
that's kind of Corey Feldman.
Oh yeah, he's shit these days.
I watched is it Josh Gad, where they have the reunions, and they did a section where they were all where they did some of their old lines from the film, and it's funny actually because the guy who played Chunk, Jeff Cohen,
don't he?
He was really bad.
My wish.
Yeah, and Feldman does the Myrish thing, and he does it spot on. It's absolutely brilliant, to the point where everyone else is like, "Oh, that was brilliant."
It's a great little speech. It's a great little speech. It's little moments like that in the film where it takes you back, and you're thinking, these kids are actually deep. They're going to lose their home. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Things are messed up. They're going to lose their friends the day after if they don't make this a success.
Yeah. There are no more Goonies after this. Yeah, there's no sequel.
And if you remember, I know we're jumping around a bit, but at the end of the film, they lose. They accidentally figure out the kid stuffed his marble bag full. They've lost everything up to that point. Yeah. So even right at the end of the film, that's again what just makes you warms your cockles. It does. It's lovely. But yeah. What else have we got?
Speaking of cocks, there's this guy.
Oh God! Yeah.
Oh, that is my worst line in most films.
Eddie!
Oh God! Eddie! I hate that line. It's just I mean, she's literally about to take an oath to become a Goonie. She's proud. She's a proud card-carrying Goonie. I mean, it's
this is why I think editing is really, really important for movies. Because we talked about all the stuff they've removed that would have made this film absolute turd. That one line is such a so he could have said anything else. And it's the fact that he's pretty much telling his mates that he's only doing this because he wants to bang this girl. You know what I mean? And it's a bit creepy, disgusting, and I mean, I wish he had got bummed by the monkey in the deleted scene, but that's one of the
the escaped gorillas from the zoo. Yeah.
That's Trading Places, not this.
No, that's what I said to you. You remember telling us about the deleted scene with the monkeys, and I said to you, "Why do I feel like somebody's getting bummed by a monkey by the end of the film in the original version?" Because it just felt so caperish and ridiculous. It did have that element of Trading Places about it. Again, that's the weakest bit in Trading Places for me. Fake monkeys. Sean Astin, man, what a cracking actor.
Yeah, he's had a great latter career as well.
Yeah, it kind of dwindled a bit, didn't it, during the 90s and the early 2000s?
It was Lord of the Rings. Yeah. He was amazing in that as well.
He's a great Samwise, man. He's great.
And in Stranger Things, man,
he's awesome.
Awesome. You loved him in that.
Yeah. Does anybody know? Okay, we've got a good picture there because I just wanted to ask someone. What's the deal with Sloth? I know he's related to the Fratellis, probably the older brother, and he's been born with a disability or something.
Didn't they say he was dropped on his head or something like that?
Yeah. Because he's got, she goes, rockabye baby on the tree.
Drop. She says as well, go check on your brother, so it is the brother.
Well, we know
definitely. Yeah.
I'm kind of fascinated by the backstory of the Fratellis. Like, how did they end up as a criminal threesome with this millstone of a guy they've got to... Lummy, come on. Just being rude now. No, they've got this millstone of a brother who's 70 feet tall and being dropped on his head. I'll put it in that way, and he must be a burden because every time he opens his mouth, he's really loud, and they have to manacle him. He's so strong, they literally have to manacle him in place. I'm just always fascinated by that. How do you, as a criminal gang, the prequel to this film would be amazing. Because I'm working on the premise that the Goonies' parents were friends when they were kids, and they went looking for One-Eye Willie's treasure, but they never found it. And there's some relics of that shit in the next movie. But in that movie, I want to see the young Fratellis. I want to know what they're doing. Why is he in prison? We had the beginning of the movie. Why was he in prison in the first place? Like, what are they up to? Do they move around? Do they just stay in Oregon all the time causing shit? Or are they like traveling criminals? I just want to see that movie. That's
Well, there's the thing in the restaurant in there with the counterfeiting machine, so that gives you a little bit of a,
Yeah.
Yeah,
there's a newspaper front.
$50
Hey?
Sorry. That's what it says, isn't it?
$50 bill. There's a headline as well with them mentioning what they've done or something. I can't remember.
Yeah,
the
newspaper headline was about his escape from prison.
Yeah, I want the backstory out a little bit.
Yeah, that day.
No, it can't have been.
Yeah, it was. It must have been the Evening Post. It's all right. Don't worry, Lummy. I've explained it for you, pal. Don't worry.
Right.
It's not a criticism. It's just a fervent wish that if they ever do a prequel, that it could be actually a really decent film.
Spielberg said, actually, it's the thing that he gets asked all the time, and they've tried loads of things, but he just can't find a story that's better than the first one. And do you know what? I appreciate that. I'd much rather than...
it's like that. Like twice, right? Because the thing that doesn't work is most of these people as adult actors are A, not very good anymore, and B, not very well known anymore. The older brother, Brandon, is obviously Josh Brolin, who's he's doing really well,
Yeah, in fact, they are all acting. All of them are still acting, apart from
Martha Plimpton.
I played Chunk.
She's really
films and stuff like that. Kerry Green.
You don't want to see them people as old farts. What you want is for them to be introduced as parents and whoever's together as a couple now, whatever, and you want their kids to be as good as they were when they were kids, and that is so difficult to make happen. Do you know what I mean? To make you give a shit about.
That's why it'd end up just trying to be a carbon copy of it. And it wouldn't work.
No, it wouldn't. And I think,
I'll tell you what else wouldn't work. When I was a kid, when this pirate ship at the end escapes and you see it setting off and they're all stood there watching it, go, wow, what a pirate ship. Like, I love that. I love that open-ended, the pirate ship sets off. And
where does it go? Who gets the pirate ship?
Half an hour after that, some dick in a big boat showed up, took all the jewels for himself.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because that's reality. So I'm really glad it ends where it does. Do you know? So I don't need a sequel to this movie. I need a prequel or something, but yeah.
I absolutely love the film. It's amazing.
I really enjoyed watching it again. Really, really enjoyed it.
We've got a funny Gremlins reference I wanted to mention with the guy on the phone where he goes,
yeah. Chunk's a bit of a compulsive liar, isn't he? He's always making stuff up. And weirdly enough, so is Corey Feldman in Gremlins. Because doesn't he phone the cops in Gremlins? Is that right?
No.
Cops? No, he doesn't phone the Gremlins.
Hang on, let me get my Gremlins storybook and I'll tell you.
It's fine, just skip over it. It's fine.
What's the Gremlins oath? Let me.
Don't get them wet. And don't get them exposed to sunlight. I've not got the Gremlins one, I'm afraid. Can't help you.
Let the team down, Lovey. Seriously.
Can't help
you. He goes, he phones the cops and he's like, oh, is this like...
Oh, wait a minute. Wait a minute. Here I
am. But yeah, he phones the cop, but he's always lying, isn't he? Because at the beginning, when they're saying to him, "Oh, you mean like the time Michael Jackson came over to your bathroom to use your bathroom?" And he's like, "Okay, Michael Jackson didn't come over, but his sister did. He can't help himself." Shit, people.
Gremlins.
She's judging you.
Yeah. Deagle, just showing you a random picture of Mrs. Deagle. Just cause. Stop looking at the book. You're reading it, don't we? We can see you reading it.
I'm looking for the Gremlins oath now.
Fascinating book collection, but read it on your own time.
Sorry, I'm just reading my notes. Sorry, guys, I'm just reading my notes from last week's show. Sorry, just seeing.
I've had enough of this. I'm just going to read a book.
Dude, actually, right. How far are you through Ready Player 2?
I'm on chapter 3.
Okay, I'm on chapter 6. I think it's great. It's great. Thank you for buying it for me, man. It's awesome.
It's all right so far. It feels like the first book. I'm not sure where they're going with it. Anyway, Data with his tools. He's always got the right tool for
slick shoes.
Yeah, slick shoes. I mean, surely that's inconvenient if they go off at school or something and you're in the corridor. You're all right because you're in front. The oil's not going to get you, but all the kids behind you trying to queue up for lunch or whatever, be slipping all over the place.
It's the pinches of peril that get it from me.
I've only got.
And the other thing is, that's fine, right? But this was the route down to the treasure. So they all then had to climb down that massive pit with all those massive spikes to be able to get down to the treasure.
They conveniently skip over that. Stop trying to ruin his film, Gittins.
I'm not. It's just it's the first. I love the film. I still love the film, but it's the first time I've watched the film with a pen and paper to make notes.
Dude, it is obviously it is one of those suspend your belief movie magic films. You know what I mean? All kinds of
like
crazy.
that. There's a giant. I mean,
how right? The pinches of peril is just two chattering teeth. How does that support the kid's body weight? Yeah. I understand what you're saying.
It's like this here though as well. There's a giant bottomless pit pretty much there, isn't there? You know, where's that from?
Covered in stalactites and stuff.
Yeah, but you know what I mean. It's really
actually. I think you'll find they're called stalagmites, Nathan, because they go up and stalactites go down.
Yeah, okay.
He meant the ones around it going down.
Sorry, I've mistaken. I thought this was all geek to me. I didn't realise it's all geology to me. Sorry, I'm the wrong show. I've been talking about Goonies for 2 hours.
Water slide. You got your water slide. Everybody wanted to go on this water slide when they were a kid.
Yeah.
As a kid, that is the bit where you're just like, oh my God, a massive water slide. That's just.
And it's amazing. There was no rocks on that very smooth. Oh no, but the water would have eroded it. Lummy got there before you.
Yeah.
Don't worry about it.
I was just ready. I was ready for you. I was ready for your nonsense.
Yeah. To beat me down with your
then I love the fact that they say, I don't know if this is true, but they said they kept this secret from them to get the proper reactions.
Yeah, that's right.
You know,
okay.
Yeah,
that's cool.
The thing I want to, I'm all right. This is a Gittins kind of comment, but have you noticed how the water's smoking like it's heated? It's like they're in a boiling hot bathtub.
Whereas they're so low down, well, they're not, are they? Because they're at sea level, so it can't be.
Yeah, steamy water. But they didn't want a bunch of kids freezing to death on a set, I suppose.
No.
Yeah.
Then you meet One-Eyed Willie. Look at that.
I like the respect that Mikey has for Willie.
He does respect him, right? He respects One-Eyed Willie, you're right.
Oh God.
Jesus Christ.
Oh, jeez, Lummy.
Oh God.
I'm sorry. Respect is important because if you didn't have that respect and that kind of understanding of what One-Eyed Willie was, as he's going through this story, he's seeing him as not just a pirate, he's a madman. He killed everybody, he set up booby traps, but somehow he's got this weird connection with him. So much so that he stops him taking the obvious bit of dodgy gold that might.
He gets it. He gets it.
Don't see that.
They haven't done the paper. They haven't done the research. They don't have a One-Eyed Willie book behind them on their shelf.
And they don't have any. All they can see is gold. You know, but I tell you what, lucky that ship was full of gold because it totally distracted those bad guys from murdering a bunch of kids. They were just like, leave the kids. Let's get this gold. It's great.
I mean, after they're on the ship as well, and the Fratellis, then
we've
got
guys.
Captain Chunk, and then the big reveal of
Sloth's favourite superhero was Superman, by the looks of it.
Yeah.
I would not be telling Sloth that my worst superhero was Superman.
Oh, and what's the connection there with the Superman thing? What is the connection? Come on.
Richard Donner.
There you go, Richard Donner.
Yeah. Richard Donner directed the original Superman movie. And then he made a good movie.
Oh,
They made some Goonies. I'm sorry, it sucks, man. And the one where he flies around the Earth to reverse the
Oh
axis
god,
of-
it's reverse time. That's
Oh,
bullshit.
Which Superman is that? Is that 2 or
Superman,
3
three.
or
one,
Two, isn't it?
one,
is it 1?
one.
Yeah,
Is
then
it?
that's stupid.
God,
It's
that's
stupid.
a sort of lame ass fucking plot device you'd expect in a sequel, not in the
Yeah,
first
because-
film.
Exactly, because if the guy had actually talked to any scientist in the world, he'd probably said, if you do that, you're going to kill everybody on Earth.
It's a nice shot that is at the end. That's nice with them.
I got that. I thought that was nice. Then
know,
the
I've
most
always-
emotional bit in the movie. You ready for this?
The where
Check.
that is cute. You're my best invention. I thought you were going to say the bit where Chunk goes, "You're going to come and live with us," without even
Yeah.
asking his parents' permission.
I know.
And
I know.
his
Yeah.
parents, Chunk's parents turn up with a pizza for him. They just know he's going to
Yeah.
be hungry. So it's like,
And his real sister as well. His real sister. Right. This
and they do
is
have some
my-
pretty big stereotypes in this, actually, because they've got Mikey, asthma, every time you see him. Mouth, he's a bit vain. Every time you see him, he's brushing his hair. Even when he's at his bro's house, I'm just going to make sure I look nice.
And the thing
And
is,
then Chunk is always eating.
his hair looks like totally overbrushed, like throughout the whole. You're like, calm down, man. You're gonna pull your fucking. You'll be bald by the time you're 14. if you carry on like that.
Sorry,
right.
Louis, you were going
to. Here we go. My favourite thing. How long it takes him to sign this piece of paper at the end? Right.
Oh,
there's
she's
about,
looking for the marble bag. Yeah.
Do you know what?
Yeah.
As well,
There's about 2 minutes worth of shots where he touches his glasses about 8 times.
He rips it into pieces like 4 times and throws it up in the air, and then a bunch of paper comes up from behind him.
Yeah,
it's really weird.
Like he's just been married.
Yeah.
And the other thing is, you'd kind of think I might just go and get those jewels valued before I tear up this contract, just to make sure they're going to cover the price of the house. Explain that one, Louis.
Man. It's a pretty honest cleaning lady, isn't it? Do you know what I mean? She could have been like, "Oh, nobody saw me take this marble bag. I'll pop that in the pocket."
She didn't want to get put in the dungeon, did she, and get tied up?
The cucarachas.
I do want to know the street value of those diamonds. Yeah, I want to know because they want many.
That's all you need to know.
They want many.
Enough.
They want many.
No.
Wouldn't it be funny if Mr. Walsh turns around and goes, "I'm buying our house. I'm not buying anybody else's."
Yeah. Or if they went, well, there's enough diamonds here for everybody's but one house. Chunk.
Oh,
sorry, man. You're out of here, buddy. And it's because you're fat. I'm just going to say it's because you're fat and it's the 80s and we hate fat people. That's what he would have said.
We're not ending that like that. No. Here you go. Look at that.
Man. And that's all it needs. It didn't even need any more explanation. It just needed them all going, looking at a pirate ship.
It's pretty much, despite me sort of nitpicking a little bit, it's pretty much a perfect film. A little bit.
It's all right, Lummy. You handled it very well. We're between us.
You went in guns blazing. You went in. I didn't know you were going to go in so hard on this tonight. I didn't know you were going to go in and go, by the way, I hate this movie. And we're like, whoa.
I don't hate this film. It's an amazing film. I love it. It's just I don't tend to sit and make notes on films very often. And when I do, I'm just going to pick out bits that don't make sense to me.
We're not going to love Revenge of the Sith now next week. We'll all be like...
I'm just seeing if I've missed anything from my significant notes from this movie.
Do you know where I made all my notes for this film? Can I just tell you guys?
In your memories.
Right there.
Oh.
In your heart.
Yeah.
Your heart is your most perfect invention, Chris.
In your nipple.
You're right.
In your Goonies t-shirt.
In my Goonies. Oh, I haven't shown it properly. Have a look. There's Chunk.
Got it.
Goonies.
Yeah, Indy's car. Yeah, got that bit. Mikey's dad steal all that shit from the museum, probably. Yeah.
Good,
got it.
Good
done.
notes. Good notes.
Good. Man, I wish we could do Goonies again next week.
Do you know this? Hang on. Do you know there was a Goonies sequel?
No.
I know there's a fan fiction Goonies sequel.
Right. There's a Goonies sequel on the Nintendo Entertainment System. They did a video game called The Goonies 2.
All right. What was the plot?
It was about a mermaid, if I remember correctly. They were going after some mermaid's treasure. I don't bloody know. I'd have to have a look. But yeah. But they had a proper logo with a 2 with bones as the 2. Yeah. I should have brought I should have got the image up, but it's too late now, isn't it?
Do a playthrough for your channel.
Yeah, do some commentary on it.
Yeah, do all voices.
I know you want me to do that. I don't know why. It sounds like you
do. I'm interested. No,
set me up
generally,
for a fall with that. You keep me
I enjoy watching games with people doing commentary on it, and I'd really,
Especially when you're a bloody voice artist and an impressionist.
Yeah, exactly that. You're missing a trick, Lummy, and you're frozen as well. Okay, cool. Well, is there anything else you guys want to say about the Goonies at all?
I love it. I love it. I love it.
Yeah, great
That's
film.
I wish I was in a Goonies. I wish
I don't know why our things frozen.
I think it's your internet, mate.
Just yours, Lummy. It was just you.
You wish you.
I wish I could wish my feelings away.
You wish you were in a Goonies. What
I said, I wish I could wish my feelings away, is what I said. No, I wish I was one of the Goonies. I wish they were my mates. I wish we went on an adventure. In fact, if it were you two and we found a treasure map, that'd be a right laugh, wouldn't it? To have a Goonies adventure.
Yeah.
It'd be brilliant. But no,
Yeah.
we
used to have adventures at college. We had Goonies adventures at college, didn't we?
We did,
we used to go look for one-eyed Viv's treasure.
Oh, you remember when we went and stayed at university at Bretton Hall in the woods? Because because the Europeans had come to town for the arts festival, the theatre festival thing, and we were all young bucks. We wanted to get closer to the European ladies, so we stayed in the woods.
Was that Brian Hall or was it up at Beckett's Park?
That was up at
It was at Beckett's Park.
No, sorry, not Bretton Hall. You're right, Beckett's Park. Yeah,
Beckett's
where
Park.
With the Latvian princess.
I won't say who, but two of the people in somebody's tent fall down in the middle of the night, and we woke up. Three of us in one tent, two of us in the other, and they were like spooning. It was really weird.
And they'd also been sick everywhere. Luckily, it wasn't any of us three.
It wasn't. We handled it well, guys. We did. We didn't get it. I'm pretty sure.
And we found a marble bag with diamond in it.
Next week, as we said earlier, we'll be looking at episode 3 of the Star Wars franchise. Oh,
nearly there, guys. Come on.
You looking forward to it, gents?
Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, you should be, shouldn't you? Because it's a film.
I've seen it once. I can't remember it. So
my biggest question about this movie is how did they mess it up? You're supposed to be looking at the most interesting thing to ever happen in a Star Wars film, the birth of Darth Vader, and it,
Birth of Darth Vader?
Yeah, the birth of Darth Vader.
I thought you meant like a baby Darth Vader.
So if you want to join in with the chat next week, feel free to give episode 3 a watch for yourselves. I wouldn't bother. We'll do it for you. We can just slag it all off together. No, I haven't seen the more video.
No, I didn't. What's that?
Right, we need to go watch that. We need to go watch it, whatever that is.
I need to go have a wee. Oh, tune in next week when I might learn how to use my mute button when I'm doing coffee-flavored burps down the microphone.
Yeah, you've got a few lovely audible burps. But Chris, have you got anything you want to plug for this week?
Just Monday night, we do our prequel, sequel, requel show. We're doing the Golden. Pardon?
An interesting film this week.
Golden Child with Eddie Murphy this week.
Is that this week?
Yeah, be a good one.
All right.
And then Tuesday night, I've got my soundtrack show. What's the Score on Box Office Radio? That's on Tuesday night, 8 o'clock. You can listen to it
Nathan,
online.
Is there anything you would like to plug or mention or say before we go?
I'd like to plug life. Just get out there, people. Live it. Smell the trees. Lick the flowers. Do what you like. Live it. Live your life. That's it. That's me.
And I'd just like to say that you're all beautiful people. Thank you so much for joining us each week. Thank you for commenting. Thank you for liking. Thank you for subscribing. Let me go for it.
I wanted to plug one more thing before we all go.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I'd almost forgotten.
Thank you, Lummy.
I'll be dreaming about this movie tonight. I'm telling you.
But we have been.
Guys, thank you for commenting. It's really nice to hear from you. We get a bit dismayed when it's a quiet week. We try not to go on about it, but we do like your comments. It keeps us
Stop going on about it.
Why are you going on about it?
And check out Peter Rabbit 2 coming to a cinema 10 years from now. Yeah,
And
we're all alive.
You can find us over on Facebook. It's All Geek to Me. You can find us over on their Twitter. It's All Geek Twit. And also, please go and find us on YouTube. Give us a subscribe. Give us a like. Share our feeds with your friends. We're trying to build a community here. And do you know what? Life's a bit shit at the moment. So we're just here to try and make it a little bit more difficult for you. Until next week, my name's been Rich. That big guy on the top left is Lummy, and the bottom one's Webby. We'll see you next week. Bye.
Bye. Love you guys. Bye. You didn't say it back.